Welcome everyone to episode 48 of the Circle Back podcast, the show where three great friends get together and just talk about video games. I'm Dan LaMarca. As always, I'm joined by Dan Dufrenoy and Shelby White.
How you doing?
And this is our Circle Back Gaming Game of the Year Extravaganza 2019. So you guys get ready, go sit by a nice warm fire, grab a glass of scotch, buckle down. This is going to be a long one.
Kiss the faces you love, and don't forget the face in the mirror, because love is still the best thing going.
All right, with that word of wisdom, I don't know where that came from.
I took that from somewhere. I'm not sure where. But
I'm going to go over the rules just in case somebody's listening that was not here last year. Basically, I have in front of me 51 index cards with 51 different games on them that one of us played this year. This is all the games we played that came out this year. We are going to go through. Dan's going to pick a game that he's going to nominate to be cut. If neither of us want to stand up for it and try to die on that hill, then that game will be cut. And we're trying to pare down to a list of 10 games, and then we're going to order them 1 to 10. So before I get to these games, I have a couple things I want to briefly shout out. I have a couple honorable mentions. Games that we spent some time with this year that did not come out this year. For me, Hollow Knight is my number one honorable mention because it came out last year. I played it when it came to Switch this year. It immediately, I knew that it was like one of my favorite games of all time. This game, if we went back to last year, it would be right up there with Breath of the Wild and Nier for me as like all-time great games. I adore Hollow Knight. I just want to make sure I get some love. It's not eligible for this because it did come out last year. But Hollow Knight, huge one. Also Magic the Gathering Arena. I this year got back into Magic the Gathering. Did not expect that to happen. But I've been playing a lot of card games, and Magic the Gathering Arena is a really, really special one.
awesome.
Also, Slay the Spire is in an interesting position. I adore this game, Slay the Spire. It came into early access in December 2017. And it's leaving early access January 2019. So we couldn't put it in here for entering early access, and we couldn't put it in here for releasing this year.
It's in limbo the whole time.
It's in limbo. So next year, look for Slay the Spire because that's a fantastic game. I know Dan has Bloodborne on this honorable mention list.
2015 it came up, but
you just played it. You just played it this year for the first time, and you really enjoyed that game.
I loved it. One of my favorites for sure.
And then Shelby played Undertale for the first time.
I did. I played Undertale for the first time.
I know it wasn't necessarily his favorite game, but he liked it.
It's not on my top 10 list, but as far as going back and playing great games throughout the years, it's up there. It's a good one.
Cool. So those are honorable mentions. I also want to shout out the remasters and remakes. Mm-hmm. This was a year full of really good ones of those, actually. Started with Burnout Paradise Remastered, which you guys know I love.
I have downloaded.
Love Burnout Paradise.
Yeah, because I've been crunching with some of these Game of the Year things.
I think that's an incredible game. We made a decision not to include remakes and remasters, just like last year. So it won't be on here. Shadow of the Colossus.
Yes.
What an incredible remake they did.
The game's
still one of the best in my opinion.
All time.
Yeah.
And unique enough, too, that the remaster I would totally recommend for anybody that played the original and is like, the original I've already played, I don't need to do it again. Like, the remaster was unique enough that...
This was a game that was like number 2 or 3 on our Game of the Generations, too. You know?
Yeah, it's an incredible game.
It was like, you're talking about a phenomenal game that was made even a little bit better.
No, exactly. It's just unique enough, the remaster, that I'd say for anybody that loves it, has played it before, play it again.
That was the PlayStation exclusive, the PlayStation games. But I know what you're getting. It's one of the greats. But
one of the greats.
This is now the way to play this. Like, it's so much better than the PS2 version.
Don't pull out your PlayStation 4.
Yeah, there's no reason to do that.
Working off controls on a remaster, I've been playing Spyro, and this is the way to play this game.
That was also on the list.
Jesus.
Spyro Reignited Trilogy.
Awesome, yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you right now,
You love it.
It's beautiful. Yeah. It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah. It flows so much better. The camera's easy. You can use the joystick. It's really good. And then what they did is they took all the dragons and they have their own unique little. I don't tell you much, but they give you a little unique little do this, or if you go back to this level, there's something hidden behind that waterfall.
Mm-hmm.
They made them all different from one another, and it's nice.
That's awesome.
Cool. And then the last one I have on the list is Dark Souls Remastered. I had the pleasure of getting to replay through one of my favorite games of all time this year in a nice remastered version on PS4, so I'm eternally grateful for that. So without further ado,
2008.
I am going to. Did I say 2019 in the beginning? I think I did. I think I said Circle Back Gaming.
It's almost 2019.
Extravaganza 2019. So we're deciding our game of the year 2018. I'm gonna read off every game that one of us have played. I'm gonna read them once, and then we're gonna start cutting.
Okay.
So, from the top, we have Beat Saber, God of War, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, The Messenger, A Way Out, Astrobot Rescue Mission, Return of the Obra Dinn, Jackbox Party Pack 5, Madden 19, Octopath Traveler, Mega Man 11, Super Mario Party, Mario Tennis Aces, Spy Party, Florence, Celeste, Quarantine Circular, Marvel Spider-Man, Into the Breach, Minute, Dead Cells, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom, Exapunks, Guacamelee 2, The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, Detroit Become Human, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Vampire, Dragon Ball FighterZ, Monster Hunter World, Sea of Thieves, Grease, Red Dead Redemption 2, Frostpunk, Battletech, State of Decay 2, Yoku's Island Express, Wizard of Legend, Donut County, Banner Saga 3, Life is Strange Season 2 Episode 1, Forza Horizon 4, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, Tetris Effect, Deltarune Chapter 1, Below, Ashen, Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden, Artifact, Moss, Wandersong, and Hitman 2. God damn.
Yeah, Jesus.
That's a lot of games.
51 games.
That's a lot of
Last
games.
year we just looked up, we had 26.
Yeah.
So,
we
really,
played a lot of games this year.
We're all in for...
Yeah, we kind of discussed this a tiny bit before we started, but there are some obvious ones that are going to be easy to get off this list, I think. But there are quite a few games that are going to be tough to pare down to 10.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll say that. So, Dan, why don't you start us off? Pick a game that you don't think is going to make it to the top 10.
All right, so out of the games that I've played, I'm going to put my personal least favorite of games I've played this year, and I don't think any of us would argue because David Cage is an asshole. Detroit Become Human.
You know what? It's so fitting that this is going to be the first game off our list because we've been talking shit about this game the entire year.
I know.
And guess what? It's gone off the list.
But I do got to say
That was a great throw. That was a great throw.
I do just want to say, though, it is a beautiful looking game, and for a game that...
Yeah, it's got that guy from Grey's Anatomy or some
yeah,
other dude.
but like for a game that like deals with like permutations, like that's the one positive I will say to all those that worked on the game. The permutations in the game, well, I didn't get that far because I really wasn't enjoying it, but the permutations where everything you do really does have a repercussion. Mm-hmm. It is super thorough, and that is something that I think
and you're
is
right.
a good thing to say
the graphics
about that.
Technically are beautiful.
But David
it
Cage,
seems like a great concept for a game.
Quantic
Just
Dream,
not executed.
Yeah, I think we've gone into why.
Yeah, we've talked about it plenty. We don't need to go
Cage.
crazy on this, but
I remember that one.
Yeah, that
so,
game
David
easy
Cage
to
the
take off the
spot.
list. Yeah.
If you want to be on the show, David Cage, you're more than welcome.
I doubt he'll accept that. All right, I'm going to move right along. I'm going to take Madden 19 off the list. I think me and Shelby both played a decent amount of this game.
It's a fantastic
It's
Madden.
a great Madden.
But the sport games don't last too long sometimes on our
Yeah,
personal
and there's
top
certainly
tens.
been sports games that have been
don't-
really excellent.
Listen,
you know,
Madden 19, NHL 19, I've played them all this year, UFC 3, like, they're all fantastic games. But, you know, like, it's, they have a novelty to me, you know,
Yeah.
like, I usually pick up Madden and play it during football season,
Right.
and then I put it down as soon as the Super Bowl ends,
Right.
you know, like,
so I guess we'll clump in all the EA Sports games into this one
Yeah,
because
man.
we didn't make cards for UFC
Yeah.
and whatever else. So Madden's off the list.
Okay.
Shell, what you got?
all right, if I'm taking one off the list here, let's see. I got a nice list, though.
I mean, there's a lot of good games on here.
That's just hard too because there's a lot of like good games that you can just like take off and be like, well, it's not top 10, but like yet it's still like a really good game.
Alright, if I'm going to take one off right now, I'd have to say it's going to be... I don't know, man. You get me right on the...
Yeah, there's a lot of good games on here.
I mean, you know, there's a. I mean,
I just don't want to take off one that I haven't played and then.
Well, but the whole point of this is,
Yeah.
if you go to take one off, and me or Dan or both of us really care about the game, we're gonna
make that argument.
Yeah.
All right, so if I'm taking one off, I think A Way Out.
Okay.
Would be one.
All
that I'd
right.
say.
So. Yeah, that's the thing about A Way Out. I said earlier in the year I could really see this sneaking onto a top 10 list, and then we got so many other great games.
That's the thing. Thinking about it in a top 10, I don't
Yes.
see it on a top 10.
In this top 10.
I do want to say, though, when it comes to unique games
Yeah.
and sort of the idea of, like, games that break sort of new ground, when it comes to co-op experiences, I've never played a game like that, and I think that game deserves incredible props for what it did, what it's out to do. The story's definitely schmaltzy in a lot of areas, but it was a really, really unique experience, and I just think, again...
So it should have made it to the second round of cuts, at least?
No, this is fine. This is fine.
At the end of the day, there's only
it doesn't matter. If it's not going to make the top 10, then it may as well go now.
Definitely
but
deserves
some recognition.
I second what Dan said. I would also add that there were some incredible moments in this game, and I adore a lot of the mechanical things that they did were really, really interesting. I think the direction was really, really good. If it was written by somebody else, I think this could be like a really great game. Mm-hmm. But that's what I said. I have so much more love for this game than it really deserves because it was just so much it was such an enjoyable experience.
And it was unique, and I think points for uniqueness and groundbreaking.
Yes. But A Way Out off the list.
You're out.
Dan, what you got?
Okay.
It found its way out of the list.
Nice. All right, I just got to take a quick gander.
Take a peek.
Our list is so long. That's what I was doing. I was trying to remember what's written down over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
All right. I'm going to go for one that I didn't play, but I don't see it being on the top 10, but I know a lot about, the Jackbox Party Pack number 5.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've cut me right in the heart.
I didn't play the 5th one. I've played the first 4 at every party I've ever been to in my entire life. Super fun. Just amazing. They're really incredible games. Only reason I'm cutting it is I don't see it ending up on our top 10.
You're right.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
But absolutely,
it's a
blast.
If you have, considering you just said you haven't played, you got to play this.
Yeah,
it's great.
Package,
it's great. We had some really good times with this game. It's awesome, and I would recommend it to people that are looking for a party game experience. But it's not gonna make.
It's not gonna make top 10.
I'm not gonna fight.
But that new game, I forgot what we called it, the rap one. If you haven't played it, play it.
It's called Madversity.
Is
Yes,
it better than Parappa the Rapper?
Dude, it's awesome.
It's so cool. It's a lot of fun. What an interesting idea.
But sayonara.
Sayonara. All right, I'm going to move right along and vote to take out Super Mario Party.
Okay.
Dan, I believe you're the one that has played the majority of this.
I just got this game for Christmas. We're recording it the day after Christmas, so I probably played an hour of it.
Yeah.
I actually, it's fun. It's Mario Party. Yeah. I like it. It's not top 10.
It's Mario Party 2.
Well, no Mario Party 2, 3, or 4. Those are classics.
They wouldn't have made it either.
I know. I have very fun feelings of the Mario Party games. This game is a welcome back. 8, 9, and 10 were atrocious.
So you're saying this one's at least
for
good.
a Mario Party game?
It doesn't feel rushed. Here's the thing: is the Switch just came out a year or two ago, so they're trying to put all the great Mario games, all the great Zelda, So did it feel rushed, or it's
decent.
So
it's good. It's fun. Honestly, you get a couple of friends that enjoy
Mario Party.
Yeah,
Right, that's good.
I think IGN gave it a 7 in fucking Mario Party game. That's pretty good.
Okay.
But it's not top 10.
Not making top 10. All right, Super Mario Party off the list.
I hate to do this because I'm going next and I'm taking out Mario Tennis Aces.
And
I don't want to take 2 in a row, but I feel
I would agree. I played a decent chunk of this game too.
And it just doesn't hold up.
Yeah, it has its novelty and it is a fun game to play with friends and stuff, but it's not a great game.
Have they done Mario Golf yet for Switch?
No, they haven't.
That is one of my favorites.
Mario Golf is great.
But see, the Mario Tennis for the GameCube is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
Just
Mario Tennis,
nothing will ever.
That's the one where they started doing the doubles and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you can play as Fly Guy in the GameCube version. You can't do that in this version, as far as I know. Take it out. I don't want to.
All right, Mario Tennis Aces off the list.
Bye-bye.
Dan, back to you.
My turn again. Jeez Louise. I'm okay.
We're cranking through.
We still have 40 games left.
We're not into the tough ones yet. That's why.
Yeah, that's a tough thing.
All right,
I had
so
a tough time in round 1.
Let me look.
That's what I'm telling you. There's about I would say a good 25 games in here that are going to be really heart-wrenching.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm looking at this list, and I know most of these we've all played, and then there's a lot of these that I haven't played, and the ones that I have played, I don't want to be touched.
So this is the thing. So
you're gonna make our first tough cut. You're doing okay.
I did not play Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Oh, is that what that said over there?
I know, Dan. I don't know if you played as well, Shelb. I know Dan had a lot of nice things to say about it.
Yeah, it's a very good Call of Duty. It's the first one that's grabbed me in a long time. The Blackout mode is a really refreshing take on a battle royale. It just does it well with Call of Duty controls, where most battle royales don't necessarily feel that great to play. So I was pleasantly surprised with this game. It's certainly not going to make top 10.
Yeah, so. Just, again, not having played it.
Yeah, I'm not going to fight for that
one. But, I don't know, I just have a hard time seeing a Call of Duty game. In a year of great games that we've had, unique games, seeing a Call of Duty game land on our list of top 10. So for that reason.
Our first bad throw of the night. Nice.
Nice going, Dan.
Guys, I used to play baseball.
I couldn't even open a chair.
All right, so I'm going to take off a game that only I played, but I know Dan got to watch a little bit of.
Yes.
Well, why so, we're on that one? Dan's taking off his own games.
This is a game that I wanted to love so badly, and so many people loved. It's Monster Hunter World. And Monster Hunter World...
Throw food at you for that one.
A lot of people are saying this is easily top 10. It might be some people's game of the year. Like, people love this game. I couldn't get into it. It looks like the type of game I would love. Like, but it's just so obtuse in so many ways. The way the online works, the way all the crafting, like, I just can't get into it. It's too much for the sake, like, there's no good reason for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people talk about Dark Souls being obtuse, it's because it's trying to be a mystery. This game Below that I've been talking about recently, it's intentionally obtuse because it's giving you a sense of discovery that games don't give you a lot. Monster Hunter World does not have any of that. It just seems obtuse because it's poorly designed, and I can't get behind it. I found some of the combat with certain weapons I found enjoyable. I went between a bunch of them because I was like, this game is not fun to play. So I got to a couple weapons I liked. I liked the switch axe. You know, there were a couple things that had some cool combo systems and stuff, but I was like, it's just not enough. I don't love this world. I think there are really cool things in it. I think the monster design, the way that the monsters will interact with each other on the fly. Like, you'll be trying to take down this monster, and all of a sudden another one will pop in, and they'll start fighting, and it's really cool, but it doesn't do enough to make it a game that I actually enjoyed. You know, after putting 10 hours into it, I was like, I just can't do it anymore. I was not enjoying it.
So bounce off of that. I hope I didn't cut you off.
Not at all.
What I saw from watching my buddy, he got it same. So he got it back in probably when we first started talking about it, January, February, whatever. Probably saw him play an hour and a half of it after he made his character or whatever. It just seemed very redundant. And a beautiful game, but I don't know. People that like Monster Hunter World say it's the best Monster Hunter World ever.
Yeah, people. Monster Hunter fans.
Monster Hunter, I'm sorry.
I mean, listen, you say the same thing about dog shit. You know?
This is the best.
There's a lot of dog shit out there, but this is the best dog shit.
But the thing that I'll say about Monster Hunter World is...
I like your analogy, Shelby. That was perfect.
It definitely grabbed a lot of people that did not like Monster Hunter.
It seemed pretty redundant.
But what I'm saying is, a lot of people that didn't like Monster Hunter in the past really like this game.
Yeah.
So props to them for that. This is actually... listen to this. This is the best-selling Capcom game of all time.
Oh. Really?
Capcom game. They made Street Fighter 2.
And there's like cool. 7 versions of Street Fighter 2, so that's
impressive. I'm sure they go individually. That's why. But pretty cool. I'm glad people enjoyed this game. It wasn't for me, and it does not belong.
I mean, I haven't touched it, but I'm not gonna lie. I've picked it up a few times and been like, "This looks cool," you know, on that appeal like you're talking about. Yeah. But gone.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Go ahead, Shelb.
All right, so I'm gonna take out Octopath Traveler. I haven't played it. I know, Dan, you have played it.
Me and Dan have both played it.
Yeah. So all right, so you both played it. I don't know how your feelings are on it. It's been a game where I've looked up gameplay a couple of times online, and I'm like, I've never played any Octopath games, and I'm like, let me check this out. And there was nothing to me that seemed super appealing about it. But if you guys want to make an argument, please do.
I definitely want to talk about it. I don't think it's going to make our top 10.
I don't think it's going to be either, but what is fun... Yeah, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, all that I really want to say about it is it made an incredible first impression, and I thought I was gonna love this game. It was really super cool. I was like, this might be one of the really good JRPGs that I haven't played in a long time. And I just totally fell out of love with it because the story took too long to get where it was going. It too much grind. Like it just wasn't doing it. Mm-hmm. You know, like it was so cool. The idea of all these different character stories intertwining. You're getting them in your party. The actual combat is very good. Like it's cool. Each character has their own unique things. I really did like this game, and then it kept going and going, and I was like, I think I'm done.
Yeah. What's funny was when Shelby was saying how it wasn't very appealing to him. For me, the
shtick
to get into it was super appealing to me. It reminded me.
Really?
It reminded me of Final Fantasy VI, but it was this weird diorama-ish sort of, graphics.
Beautiful.
I was already intrigued, and I was like, oh my gosh, this was probably one of my most anticipated games of the year.
Me too. Yeah.
Specifically because it just reminded me of the old Final Fantasy games.
We talked about this game a lot.
I adore it, exactly. And same sort of thing. The writing was like really good in some aspects and unique,
and really bad
in some other,
We'll get to that with some other big games.
Unfortunately balanced itself out.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It didn't give me a bad taste, but it was just a very stale, wanting it to be more than it was, and for that reason, I totally.
And it was just too easy to fall off of it. You know what I'm saying? It was like we didn't expect. Like I was playing it, and the first 5 hours, I'm like, I love this. It's great. And then I kept playing it. I'm like, I'm falling out of love with this.
That's the
hook me. I'm like, please hook me, and it wasn't.
Love something.
Summer love, is it?
And it just didn't hook me. And Octopath Traveler's off the list.
Gone.
Dan, you're up, buddy.
Oh man. Okay. All right.
It's only the three of us, Dan, so it's gonna come back to you.
Yeah. Right. I can't see what's over.
Don't look on my side.
I'm
trying taking away from my side.
Okay. I'm going to take off a game. Another game I did not play. I have played games in this series. But again, I just don't think it's going to be our top 10 for whatever it may be. It might be a great game. Take off Forza Horizon 4.
Ooh.
Oh, that's a bad one.
No, it's not going to make our top.
Fight that, guys.
It's
not
going to make our top 10. I played a decent chunk of this. I probably played 10 hours of this game. It's an excellent, excellent racing game. Like one of my favorites of recent memory because I don't play a lot. I really enjoyed it. It was never gonna. It's not gonna even make my personal top 10.
So, do you want to fight this one?
Look, I haven't touched Forza Horizon 4, but I've played a lot of Forza Horizon 3, and I've heard this one is way better in every aspect.
Great. It's excellent.
So I
think Forza Horizon's great when it comes to racing games. Like it's a lot of.
I completely agree in the sense that it's not going to make a top 10. But
yeah.
All right.
You said in the beginning you haven't played it. You got to play it. And
so
do I.
It's great.
That was great. That was awesome, guys. I don't know why you went that way, but that was awesome.
Just do a little risk. That's all you got to do.
That's off camera. There could be a fire.
We got to remember where that goes. We got to remember where that went. All right. All right. I'm gonna take off a game that I think only I played. Wizard of Legend.
Good, because I had no idea what that was.
Wizard of Legend.
I saw the too, and I was like, it might be amazing.
It was basically doing a top-down action kind of old school Zelda-ish roguelike game. And it was interesting enough, but it didn't do too much to it. This game, honestly, I wanted it to be really, really good, but in a year full of similar games, it was definitely forgettable. So Wizard of Legend.
I wasn't a fan of the title when I looked over it. It just reminded me of like a cheap '80s game.
What a generic title, too, right?
Oh, wait a second, Wizard of Legend. That's the one that looks like Hyperlight Drifter. That's the one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know the game. Okay.
Yeah. It just reminded because it sounds like a.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of games are trying to do that right now, and it didn't do anything that stood out. I played a couple hours and I was like,
Well,
you played that? I never.
You're gone.
We talked about this when you
played it right at the same time as Yoku. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Shel.
Shel, what you got?
All right, I'm back up. Let's see. I didn't use my time wisely in between. I looked into this game, and I think it's on Game Pass right now, but I'm going to take away Sea of Thieves. Just because I don't see it going much further.
Yeah, it's a game that I was actually very disappointed in. I know I played.
I think it's on Game Pass right now, and I just haven't touched it.
Yeah,
but I've heard nothing.
It's on Game Pass. All Microsoft first-party games are on Game Pass
right now. Did they take off Forza?
No, it's on there.
Oh, it is on there. All right.
It's gotta be, yeah.
Yeah, I just I just downloaded a couple.
I hope not. That would suck.
Yeah.
But Sea of Thieves, man, I wanted to love Sea of Thieves. Man, they're doing a lot of really, really cool stuff, but it's just boring. There's not enough to do. It's basically, you know how when you first played Minecraft for the first time, it was so novel because you never played anything like it? But if you were to go back into vanilla Minecraft right now and try to play it, you'd be like running out of things to do. That's this game.
Run out of stuff to do.
And it's because it's so rough around the edges. Like, it is one of the most beautiful games. I love the art style in this game. Some of like really, really cool moments too. And I know they've added things in with the expansions and the patches and stuff, but I got really turned off to this game when I first played it because it was on Game Pass. I played it. I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting. Really good first impression. It just, there's not a lot to it.
I haven't played Minecraft either, so.
Oh, and never? You never played Minecraft?
Never played Minecraft.
Wow.
My brother's huge, or was huge on Minecraft.
Yeah.
I never touched it.
Well, Sea of Thieves,
So I missed
off the
analogy
list.
Okay.
What you got?
All right, I'm actually going to take off. All right. See, now it's getting hard because I've played most of these now.
That's the point.
Okay. I'm going to take off
Mm-hmm.
a game that I did not play.
Okay.
I played the first one. Adored and loved the first one. But did not play the second one.
He's getting rid of Red Dead.
And I don't know if this game will be in our top 10 because my colleague over here loves the first one as much as I do. And
I know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Guacamelee 2.
I didn't know what he was talking about. I thought it was something
I didn't think I was
else.
talking about.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Guacamelee 2, yeah. So,
I just don't think it's going to be top 10. I love the first game.
yeah.
But this is my theory for Guacamelee 2. What I heard was it's very much like the first game.
Yes.
I love the first game.
Yes.
But out of my personal top 10 for this year, the first game wouldn't even break into that.
Correct.
So I think I'm going
agree.
to get rid of Guacamelee.
The first game
2.
was fantastic.
I love the first game. Have you played it, Show?
I have played the first
Oh my
game.
gosh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Everything about it.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of this game.
This
It was
game
really good.
is a lot more of the same. I had not finished it. I actually haven't even played that much. I played about an hour or hour and a half, probably.
And that's what I hear.
And it just, again, in a year of a lot of these type of games, it didn't do much to stand out.
That's what I mean. In my personal top 10, there's a lot of unique sort of games,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure if even the first game would land into
I know what you're
that
saying.
top 10. So that's
All right,
I'm gonna go
Guacamelee 2 off the list.
You get thrown.
You got to
for
practice, man.
Yeah, you got
this is my first time.
All right.
Rookie.
So I'm going to get rid of Spy Party. Spy Party.
I was gonna do that.
I don't know if you guys remember what Spy Party is, but it's the multiplayer game where it's a one-on-one competitive multiplayer where one person is an assassin looking in with a sniper scope
Oh yeah.
into this place, and the other person is pretending to be an AI in the room. It is so fucking cool. I love the idea of this game. It is like, I don't know if it was that they didn't do enough, but I really still like this game, and I would still, like, if one of you was like, oh, I want to try that game, I would go back in and play hours with you. It's a lot of fun. There's something missing. I feel like it's not like a complete game yet. I really enjoy my time with it, but with Spy Party, unfortunately, you're not going to make it.
Bye.
I do remember you talking about
Yeah.
that one too.
Oh.
I also remember making the cover for a YouTube video. For it. So that's my
That's your memory of it?
that's my memory of Spy Party. So I do remember you talking about this one too, and I believe, if I'm right, was one of the computer games Quarantine Circular.
Quarantine Circular.
It was one of those ones. It was like a coding game.
I think you're thinking of Exapunks. Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah. Quarantine Circular is it's almost like it's like a dialogue puzzle game, kind of.
Similar to Florence.
So that's my joints.
No, because it's basically like so it's a sci-fi story where you are this engineer, right? And your job is to I don't know, I don't know if you guys remember that. This was a couple months. I probably played this in May or something, May or June. But you basically are an engineer that calibrates in AI, right? So you go to this place, and it's like, all right, you need to calibrate this. It's a translator, the AI. That's its whole job. So you're making sure that the translator is ready to go for whatever's about to happen. You go, and there's an alien in this place. And now your translator figures out his language, and you start talking to him. And your job is to ask questions and find out information without pissing him off, pretty much.
Like, what was that Amy Adams movie?
Oh, Arrival.
All right.
Yeah, but that's kind of what it is. And then so you're actually communicating with this person, and then you have other people coming in and having a conversation with all of you, and you're trying not to piss them off, but you're like, what are my motives? You're like making choices. There are different endings depending on what you choose. It's a really cool game.
I like that.
It's a lot of fun, and it is on Switch. I think it's like $5 or something. Yeah. It's cool. I think you should check it out. It's not going to make top 10, but I really actually enjoyed this game quite a bit, and I would recommend it. Anybody that likes a good sci-fi story, it's really cool.
To go off that,
Nice.
let's get rid of Exapunks. Though it does look awesome. I remember you showing me Exapunks.
Yeah.
Don't save face.
He
He was like, no, we're getting rid of him, throwing away right away.
I really love Exapunks. You know what the problem is? I didn't put Opus Magnum on my list of honorable mentions, but I think I played that in January. Because I remember saying after.
Yeah.
So that's Zachtronics. That's the same developer of Exapunks. So I love Zachtronics games. They're just like brain bending, like, really. You're right. It's not gonna make top 10. I really love that game.
I don't want to. If you like it, Dan.
No, it's not gonna make it though. There's too many good games.
You mean more to me than Exapunks. So.
All right, that was better. You almost killed one of our guys.
Mr. Rossetti. I'll get to it.
But yeah, Exapunks. It's a really good game, but it's not gonna make it. All right. I'm gonna say we're gonna get rid of the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit. You haven't played it, right?
I haven't played it, but it's kind of like the Life is Strange.
It's
right?
the same people. It's like a interstitial. It's like a standalone Life is Strange story.
Yeah,
right?
in the same sort of universe.
Yeah. So we both played it, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good, but it's nothing special. I don't think.
Not the same.
It really it gets you into that sort of style
without really sticking around too long.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So. All right.
Is it a part 1 of 2?
No.
No, it's just
a standalone
thing. It's
thing.
2 hour, 3 hour.
Yeah.
Play it.
It's
done.
Yeah, it's quick.
Nice. I think we're about 17 down now. We're making leeway here.
All right.
It's 35 games left.
I know, right? We have so many. All right. I'm gonna take out State of Decay 2. I haven't touched this one, but it's another one that I've checked out a couple times and just didn't have that appeal to me. You guys have both of you played this?
No, just me. State of Decay 2 is a game that I like quite a bit. I love the original. I think they did a lot of really good things for the second one. Again, this is a game where if you asked me halfway through the year, do you think this could make your top 10? I would have said yes, because I really actually like this game a lot. But judging by the quality of stuff we have on here, it's going to be tough. State of Decay 2, good game though.
Okay,
That's
my
how you
turn.
throw a card.
It's like a frisbee.
I'm working on it. What do you guys think about Tetris Effect?
Oh boy.
I know that's a big blow.
I haven't played it,
Oh,
but I wouldn't
boy.
have even done that.
It's a little early to be talking Tetris Effect.
Fight for it, man.
I can't help you with this one because again
I know. I'm the only one that's played it.
But hold on. So Tetris Effect is something that was VR and not
So
VR.
it's
and
VR compatible.
And
That's
you
pretty
said
much
you
what it
had even more fun not doing it. Or
Yeah,
you liked it better.
I see
not
the
VR.
appeal of VR and I enjoy it in VR, but I think being in VR takes a lot out of you, right? And I tend to play Tetris Effect to relax and just mindless Tetris, and you can't really do that in VR, but Tetris Effect, man, this is a fucking great game. This is like my favorite version of Tetris, and Tetris is really good. I know it sounds silly to talk about Tetris like this, but
Listen, man, if you think it should stay.
I
just don't think it's
the
gonna be
problem.
top 10.
Yeah, the problem is I don't think it's going to make our top 10. So I don't want to argue about it too much because there are other games that I'd rather pull knives out for. So Tetris Effect. We already
He's
knew you.
saving his battle in him.
Oh,
Everything he's
right.
got left.
Oh man, that was a rough one. That one actually hurt.
And I'm sorry.
To prevent such things
He looks
in
like
the
he lost
future,
something.
I know. Actually, I feel really bad about
I'm gonna
this
take out my own baby here, Vampire.
Ooh, do it.
Dan, I was so ready to battle you on this one.
I'm preventing heartbreak. I'm taking it out myself. I know Dan does not have good feelings about this game. The problem is, and this is a similar. I keep harping on the same thing, but some of the strength of these games that came out of nowhere for me really bumped down some of these games off my list. Like, I love Vampire. I would have sworn that this game was going to be on my top 10, but it might not even make my personal, is what I'm saying. It's going to be close. I know. But what I'm saying is,
I feel bad. Like, put Vampire number 1 now.
the
Like,
reason
it's fine,
the reason Vampire is so good, in my opinion, is because of the systems that it creates. And I've said it before. I said it on the podcast. I will take a game that is ambitious but janky over a game that is by the numbers and fucking boring.
See, I agree. I just thought
You just
Vampire was
didn't-
very boring.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That's the difference. And that's why I don't think it's circle back. It's going to be in
I
circle
know, but I
back's
feel
top
bad
10.
now. You just, like, 2 of your... All right, you take
Listen,
out...
I'm doing it to myself, all right?
We
Vampire,
took
you're
out
gone.
2 Marios pretty early.
That's true.
It
Okay,
happens.
all right.
It happens. You gotta deal with it.
All right, chill.
All right. So let's see. Let me do a quick sweep. All right. So this one I haven't touched, but I just don't see it being a game that makes into a top 10. Definitely an honorable mention. But Donut County.
Did he do bad, too?
They're killing me here, guys. You're killing me. Again, in a similar thing, the way that when we talk outside of the podcast about how we really do this, it's like, if I'm the only one that's played a game, I have to really love that game in order for us to put it up.
The reason is there's some of these games that I haven't. Not only have I not seen. I haven't seen, played, or heard of some of them. Donut County I have, and I know what it's about, and it looks great. I just don't see it being a top 10 potential.
And that's how I felt with
Which is
Tetris Effect.
why
So, Donut County is probably very close to Tetris Effect in my mind, where I actually adore this game. I love it. I think it's amazing, and it is perfect for what it does. But I could see it not making our top 10. It's only I have played this. And it's not one that I'm ready. That, like, there are games on here that I'm like, this. I'm the only one that's played this game, and it's gonna fucking make our. You know what I'm saying? And Donut County is an awesome story, really great humor and writing. The music is incredible. Like, I really, really, really like this game. But you're right. I don't think as a whole. I don't think it's gonna make ours. Can you guys take out one of yours, please? You're killing me here.
Right.
All right.
What you got, then?
I'll take out one of mine.
No, you won't.
You're not gonna.
Watch me. Watch me.
Watching.
Ooh.
All right. All right, I'll take out one of mine. Fine.
What you doing?
The Messenger
Mm-hmm.
is a great game. Awesome indie game. It is a love letter to Ninja Gaiden, which is one of my all-time favorite games ever. It adds a new mechanic to it that makes it absolutely incredible, makes it amazing. The switching between 8-bit and 16-bit and just technically perfect. The music's great.
Spoiler alert.
Oh no, this is.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh, we didn't say it at the top. We're gonna spoil every single one of these games that we want to
this is,
spoil.
okay, I got so
We're
scared.
literally-
Because
I remember him holding off on telling you.
I forgot to say, in this episode, there are no holds barred. Whatever we want to talk about story wise in these games, we're gonna talk about. And we are at the point where we haven't had to get the knives out yet and say, like, this is why this game is so good, because we are kind of culling the
It makes me feel
herd.
so much better because for the past 5 weeks you've been like, save it for Game of the Year.
Yeah,
Because I want to talk about Deltarune and I want to talk about Red Dead. Okay.
But talk about the Messenger right now.
So, The Messenger.
You don't need to do whatever you want to do.
I'm just saying, super fun. it does get to a point where, and we've talked about a lot of games this year, where sometimes games become too long for their own good, and it starts to drag. The Messenger, that definitely happens.
Yes.
Super fun. It gets to a point where it starts to drag. Probably should have ended,
What a good first impression,
Oh my
right?
gosh, seriously.
I thought I was going to love this game. I played like a couple hours. I'm like, man,
first
this game's
few hours,
amazing.
up into for those that have played it, up until you get to the point, there is this paradigm shift where you fight the main demon guy. Things change. That's even really cool. But then it just kind of goes to like a downward spiral where it just becomes kind of stale.
Monotonous.
And, there's a lot
so
of backtracking.
much backtracking.
Exactly.
That's the biggest problem with this game, is that there's not a really good fast travel system. I know you can go into that room where there are different portals and stuff, but it's not easily accessible.
Yeah.
Oh, I got so frustrated by that game in the end.
Amazing. I love Ninja Gaiden. I do love this game. I think it did a really good job at doing something retro, but also something unique, and I really, really give it props for that. So I took one of my games off, so you're welcome.
It's definitely been one of those games that now that I've been playing those indie games on the Switch, I looked at that and I was like, oh man, I gotta play this. But again, too many.
Yeah, it's that's a problem though, man. I'm telling you, this is a game that's like, my feelings in the end were, it was good, but I don't love it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love it. I love. There's a big push now, especially from indie developers, to do things very retro, very 8-bit NES, SNES style. And like this one, really, it's not just a run-of-the-mill, okay, we're doing something retro. It does provide something unique,
yes.
And I appreciate that, and I really like that. I don't think it's going to be top 10. It's not my personal top 10.
Yeah, no.
And so that's why I'm taking it out. And it's also one of my games, so you're welcome.
All right.
Pendency.
We're getting out to it. I'm going to go ahead and take out Beat Saber. Beat Saber is a really cool VR game. I really, really enjoy it. It's a rhythm game. It's not the type of game that I would really want to put on my top 10 list, because it is what it is. It does it well, but it's similar to how we talk about the sports games. It's like they're all. Oh, that was not
wait,
good.
let me do this better.
They were all.
See?
Wow, that's nice.
I told you that guy. You just gotta give me a little.
So
you made up for
what I'm saying is, Beat Saber is
in my life, everything I did.
Beat Saber is a good game, and I have nothing negative to say about it, but I just don't think it's
that's cool.
Not top 10 worthy.
Yeah.
That's fine.
All right, so this is one of the newer ones. I haven't played it, but based on the reactions you guys had on it on our last episode, I'm gonna take out Gris.
Ooh.
I want to know how you guys feel, because I know Dan,
I really loved it.
You loved it, and I know Dan LaMarca had a few mixed reviews on it, and I just see it being overshadowed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Considering it hasn't had enough time to. I know the novelty usually stays there, and people are like, "Oh, this is the end of the game. I love this so much," and it just stays in your head. But I feel like this one got overshadowed by a few other late.
That's also fair. That's true.
Yeah.
And I can't make the argument for it, but if you guys want to hash that
This
out.
is if you want to argue for it to stay, then argue for it to stay.
So Gris is on my personal top 10 list.
It is.
Bottom. I won't give my full list,
Bottom tier,
but bottom tier, like it's definitely it made that impression. But also, I'm also about compromise, and
I just want to.
But I want you to say I don't feel there's about when I was thinking about doing this, super pumped. There's about 5 games that I was like, I need them on those top 10. I will fight for these games ever. It's kind of before you said, like, I'm not going to pull the knives out for it. I love Gris. Seriously, one of my personal top 10. There are other games that I will
fight for.
Proudly die for.
I didn't see this coming.
I slid that one in.
I didn't see this coming. I'm pleased.
Don't worry, it's gonna. There's a few games.
No, I honestly,
I
really liked Gris, but I could have seen it sneaking on as like a number 10.
And that's where it falls in my. There's a few games.
Well, it's not now. It's off.
Oh yeah,
it's gone.
There's certain tiers where like probably my personal list 10 to 15 are all kind of interchangeable. Right? Like, that could be that, and Gris kind of falls into that.
We've always had a problem with that on our list episodes.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough. There's games that it's the same tier you can kind of interchange, and it's the same passion.
Yeah, I
usually just fall.
But what I want to say is, this is a game you care deeply about. We're getting rid of it now. Now's your time to speak.
Oh, no. I know. Like I said, same thing that you said before. There are certain games
I'm not saying necessarily stand up for it. I'm saying say all you want to say about it right now,
Because it's gone.
Because we're never going to talk about it.
I just want to say, absolutely beautiful
No,
game.
but like talk about, if there are moments you want to talk about, if there are certain things you want to talk about that you love about this game, now's the time, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you have nothing to say, then we'll move
I
on.
think I said it last episode. I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
My piece is said.
Because there are some games where I'm like, I need to, if this game's going, I need to get a bunch of stuff out of it.
Chris, you know I love you. I know I love you. And that's all it needs to be.
Because I kind of want to say a little something. That world where it's like the light illuminates it, it's the last world.
Like when you're underwater, that sort of thing?
There are parts where you go underwater, but
yeah.
there's parts where the light makes certain things appear and you like flip gravity and stuff.
Yes.
It is so beautiful, that area. And so between when the eel is chasing you, first of all, that was one of the biggest jump scares I've ever had in a video game. I just want you to know. That first time the eel comes up after you when you're swimming, because you're swimming, from that moment until the end of the game, I would really, really like that section. Because most of that beginning of the game, I was like, come on. Like, I thought it was beautiful. I liked the music a lot, even in the forest area. I'm like, this is beautiful, but it's not getting me. And then near the end of that game, I was like, oh, wait, this is actually good.
Because we talked about it last episode, and that's kind of why I feel like I don't have to talk about it that much now.
I just want to talk about specifics if you wanted to.
I'm just saying, so I feel like I hashed everything out. Mm-hmm. So you didn't feel that same sort of like emotional resonance when it dealt with the themes?
At the end, it gained points with the last hour, but it never got to the point where I was like, oh, this is one of my games. I love this game.
I thought from the beginning I was hooked. I thought, again, I think I said it last episode. It reminded me of Fantastic Planet, Yellow Submarine meets Journey.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But it's beautiful. But that same sort of emotional resonance I got with Journey. Though I like Journey a lot more, but that same sort of sparseness. I don't know. I just feel like they conveyed the themes that they were trying to go for very, very well. Yeah. And that's why I connected with it, and that's why I really, really appreciate it. Interesting enough, I beat Wandersong and then did Gris right after, and we will talk about Wandersong later. They both kind of dealt with similar themes in a different way, and that's why Gris, even then, when I finished playing it, Gris was already lower than several other games this year, because I was like, well, I like the way that other people presented it, and there was a lot more emotional punch than Gris did. I still love Gris, though.
That's totally fair.
That's my...
I will also say, when she first gets her voice back, I teared up. It was nice.
I told you, I gave you. I was
at the end, when she first...
All orifices were
because the beginning, that was the whole part. You are sick.
Oh, man.
Because the whole point, she loses her voice in the beginning, and then she gets it back, and you can start singing to like let plants grow back and stuff. That was good.
It was awesome. I love Gris. But for the sake of this...
Okay.
And there's a few games on here that I feel like you guys are going to knock down that I'm ready to...
All right, cool.
Get the fisticuffs up for, so...
All right, so you're up, Dan.
Oh, gosh.
Shelby taking the first hard cut.
Boom. All right.
That was the first really, really tough one.
Yeah, and that's what I did.
And there's still some chaff on here, I think.
Okay. Hitman 2.
Okay.
That's what I was going to get rid of.
Did not play Hitman 2?
Yeah.
I actually haven't played any of the Hitman games. I'm familiar with the series.
Yeah.
I've actually seen gameplay of Hitman 2 after you talked about it. Looks a lot of fun. Looks beautiful. I just don't see it. Other games that have same sort of systems and same sort of, technical things and just presentations would knock this out of nowhere.
The only videos I've seen on this are the hysterical ones of people throwing the suitcase. And
it's good.
It's so funny.
There's definitely some funny bugs in this game. But what I'll say is, I love this game. I think it's great. I love Hitman 2016. Like, they've done a great job redoing this series into something really, really special.
Not with the movie.
I love this game. And before we get rid of it, I'm gonna tell you guys one of the things. The final area in this game is this mansion on an island. It's like a castle, actually, and it's full of the richest, wealthiest people in the world on purpose. Like, this is like their cult. Like, this is the Illuminati, and it's full of these people that are just awful, terrible. Like, you get intel on these people. And it is the most satisfying thing to have these people as your targets, because it is like literally they're like throwing money in a fire. Like, it's
cold.
This game knows exactly how funny and over the top it is, and it does that. Last mission,
which you
is
said
the
was a
epitome
big
of-
revelation from the earlier ones, right? It tried to take itself
Oh, yeah.
seriously in the beginning.
Once
This one nailed it.
Hitman 2016, the previous one, once that one came out, you knew, okay, they're doing something different with this series, and they really actually know what they're doing. Like, they are nailing their tone.
Hinting more on the satire and stuff.
100%. This is so, and this one especially, they even have, if Agent 47's dialogue is, like, hilarious sometimes. But there are so many different things in that one area that you go through and you're like, these fucking assholes. Like, look at this shit. Like, they have people raiding tombs for them just so that they can have pieces in their house and stuff. Like, all this crazy stuff that you see and you're just like, oh, man, I can't wait to kill the shit out of you. Like, it's so good. It is so, so good.
It's awesome.
But, yeah, it's not going to make our top 10.
Oh, God. I thought
Came back
Frisbee. Frisbee.
You know what it is? You're going too hard.
Yeah,
Just
gotta go nice
soft.
and easy.
All right, next time.
Easy.
Next time you got it.
Awesome.
All right, Hitman 2 off the list. I'm gonna take off Life is Strange season 2 episode 1. I think if we had played the whole season, I'm gonna rearrange these a little bit. Actually, I'll do that when someone else is talking. If we had played the whole season, it might be a different story right now. But just playing the one episode, I don't know enough about where the narrative's going, or I just don't feel comfortable having this in my top 10. I really, really like this first episode. I think they're onto something with some of the political stuff they're doing and how they're trying to, be pretty current with their messaging, what they're doing. I love what they're doing with this series right now, but we've only seen one episode. I don't really feel too comfortable leaving it on. So Life is Strange season 2 episode 1, you go.
Yeah. So I feel bad because I keep sniping games I haven't played, but
Yeah, but that's how this works.
Yeah, it's fine.
If we really
Battletech.
care about it, we fight about it.
BattleTech is the next one that I'm looking at. Now, have you guys both played this?
No, I haven't played
Just
it.
No, so just Dan. No.
Yeah. This
Just
game.
Dan L.
So
Dan, number one.
this game is definitely on my top 10.
It is, okay.
Definitely.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I played 60 hours of this game. I adore this game.
Yeah,
This is an
so
incredible
tell me
game.
why.
It's not going to stay on the list
Tell me
anyway.
more.
Though.
No, you don't think so?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Because I think on my personal list is where it belongs. I'm not going to be able to make a case to you guys because I think even if I said, hey, you guys have to play this game, you might not, neither of you will enjoy
So it's a
it.
good
You know what I'm saying?
situation. Same sort of.
Yeah, exactly. But BattleTech is a tactics game with giant mechs, and it's just so good at what it's doing. It makes these every mission
Similar
is
to Into the Breach, or
so it's not grid based. It's action points. Like you have an area that you can go. It also has the weapon system totally different. It's very like if you ever watch any mecha anime or read anything or anything, you understand like a lot of stuff in this. But if you ever did anything at all, but it just feels so good when your mech got one arm torn off in the middle of battle. You're missing your big like autocannon. And you're like, all right, all I have are these like 10 long-range missiles, and this guy's almost dead. I gotta just fire everything I got. I'm overheating myself because I have to kill this guy this turn, and you pull it off.
just gotta figure it out.
Or you do death from above, and you land on somebody like another mech and blow them up. Like the moments in this game can be just so good. But I think that on our list, I could see this coming off.
All
So
right.
BattleTech
So long,
is
we-
gone. Dan, you're up, buddy.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go for one that I did not play. But I know it's not too fair because I didn't play it. I know how much you love it. But I don't see it being in top 10 just because of the style of game that it is compared to other games.
Okay.
Artifact.
Okay.
I'm gonna get rid of Artifact. It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Sounds great. I'm not taking anything away from it.
You know what's funny? Artifact, I played this hot and heavy when it came out, and I still play it here and there.
There's the card one.
Yeah, this is the Dota card game. Playing Magic the Gathering Arena, instead of that, it's just it really actually puts into perspective, because when I first came out and played this game, and I came on the podcast, I was like, I love this game. It's amazing, and it is like literally the game is so amazingly designed. It's such an interesting take on a card game, but I was the one saying like, yeah, the business practices around it, the real money, whatever, like it's weird. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. They got to change something, but I don't really care about that. And then I started playing Magic the Gathering Arena, and I'm like, it's just such a more friendly environment. Like they're giving you decks for challenges, like you're getting all this different stuff. It's just so interesting to me because I really thought I would have really fought for that game, but I might not even make mine. And I really really like that game, but they need to fix a lot of stuff.
All right, watch this.
Artifact is gone.
Oh God, you can't call it and then do it, boy.
Dan's banned from Throne Card.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that wasn't
That was
bad.
bad. All right.
Third time's a charm.
You're welcome.
So we are down to 25 games if I counted right.
Yeah.
That's one less than
5
last
rows
year.
of 5.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Louise.
I know, right? We started here.
This doesn't look like 25 to me, but it is.
It is. I guess that's how.
I am going to take off Dragon Ball Fighters. So
Yeah. I remember how much you loved
Oh,
it.
I
Yeah,
love-
honestly, like, yeah, that seemed
I'm
like...
very
no,
surprised.
I love this game. This game
Okay.
is incredible.
We're also top 25, so this is already really good. That's like...
Yeah, there's not a bad game on this list. They're all
Yes.
great. But Dragon Ball Fighters did something that doesn't happen to me very often. It got me to play a fighting game, like, a lot. I don't play fighting games. I'm not good at them normally. I really, really got into this game mostly because of my love for Dragon Ball. And it is just such a perfect love letter to Dragon Ball fans. It is amazing. Everything about it, it does perfectly. It looks like the anime. It like sounds like it. All these characters, little inside jokes here and there on their dialogue and stuff. Like it's such an amazing game. The people that made this are like they care so much about this
That's
property. But in the end, it's a fighting game that I played for a couple weeks and really enjoyed. And you know maybe I'll play with friends here and there, but it's not. It doesn't have a long-lasting appeal, you know, for me.
You're gone.
Dragon Ball Fighters gone.
Alrighty. We're getting into the nitty gritty here.
Mm-hmm. The fact that we have 25 and it's getting this hard is a little scary.
Alright, there's one that's kind of jumping out to me.
Mhm.
Again, another one sniping, one I haven't played, but Banner Saga 3
Yeah.
is something that I haven't heard you guys talk a ton about.
Yeah.
So
Only I've played it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't see it making it too far, but if you can please tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah. I spoke quite a bit about Banner Saga 3 because I played Banner Saga 1 when it first came out. And then I didn't play 2. Then when 3 was coming out, I was like, you know what? I want to play 2 and then play 3. And I fell in love with this series. It is just...
You start again? Did you go back to 1 or you just...
I didn't go back to 1. I just went to 2. And the reason that I could see this going off the list is because I think it's the weakest of the 3 in a lot of ways.
Okay.
I think it does a little more than it needs to with the battles. But the hard part is when you have a thing like this where it's a trilogy, it's literally played like where the first one ends, the second one picks up, or the second one ends, the third one picks up. Like it's almost like one complete game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to say
Right, just this one.
just this one is going to make it because if you were to not play 1 and 2 and you were to play this, you wouldn't know what was going on. You know, it's tough. It's a tough situation. I still think the Banner Saga, the 3 games in the Banner Saga, is one of the best stories told in video games. It is so incredible. And I remember I mentioned on the podcast that there is literally a moment, and now I can explain the moment, thankfully. There's a moment where, so in Banner Saga 2, right in the beginning, you meet with this other group of travelers, right? And there's this one Varl, which are the like big Viking people with horns. There's one Varl that's like a wild man. Like when he's in the heat of battle, he'll kill his own soldiers by accident just because he's swinging his axes and he's so big and he's like a lunatic. And he is traveling with a group of people called the Ravens. He's like the leader. And this one woman who is like a bigger woman with a spear and a shield. And she's like his right hand, like anything he needs, like he can tell her, he would never say any, like never show any weakness to the rest of his people, but he has like a soft spot for her. They're very close. And in the third game, so at the end of Banner Saga 2, Bolverk dies.
Okay.
And I hope that's the right name. But regardless, he dies and he gets reanimated by, there's this like evil, I'm not going to get into the whole story, but he gets reanimated. He's basically the big bad in the third game. Like trying to stand in the way of us completing our trip. This is very like Lord of the Rings, like we need to go to this place and do it.
Yeah.
And so he's reanimated, and there's a part where we run into him and his like band of undead now. And there's a cutscene, and this game is based on like, the actual gameplay is tactics, but then the story plays out in like dialogue boxes, and you choose what happens.
Okay.
And so there was a point where we ran into them, and after the battle, this shield maiden that was with him forever, but now it's with me because he died. She's trying to get him to snap out of it, pretty much.
Okay.
She's getting in his face and being like, like, this isn't you, like, whatever. She's, like, yelling at him. And my options were to, like, I could just pull her away, or I could, like, leave her to deal with it herself. And I'm like, this character that I know so well from playing these games would not be dragged away. And I would not try to, I'm like, this is your best friend. You know what I mean? Like, this is between you two. And so even though I knew that she was probably going to die, I'm like, he's going to kill her. And I knew it because he had like a crazy look in his eye. They like made it pretty like, she might die. I was like, I don't care. That's consistent with the story. And I'd rather her die.
Be consistent with her character. Because
that's consistent with what the story was. You know what I'm saying? And so for me to make a decision like that in a story-based game where you, like, she literally is gone from your party now. Mm-hmm. This character in your party is gone. That is so telling as to like how good the storytelling is in these games, because I've never done that before. I didn't even do that in Mass Effect. I would do anything to save my party in Mass Effect, even if it was totally inconsistent with what would really be happening. So I just thought that was such a telling moment of like, this game is so well written and this story is so good that it's like, I literally let her die because I think that's how the story should play out.
That's really awesome.
It's brilliant. But again, this is just the third part in a trilogy. It's hard to put on here as itself. I think the trilogy itself is like, I'm telling you, one of the best stories ever told. But
that's awesome.
Banner Saga 3, you go.
They haven't released the whole trilogy together yet, have they? Because that'd be cool.
I mean, they might have. Yeah, they might have.
Okay.
Not sure.
All right.
That was mine.
Oh, that was yours. Crap.
So
all right. So who I'm going to pick, a game I haven't played, but when I think about us in our top 10, there's another game that I think would be much more viable for our top 10. I'm going to pick Moss as our VR game to be booted, because I think Astronaut will definitely be, if not top 10, some sort of contender. I don't know. I feel like we have a lot to say because we've all played that.
Are you saying you can only have one VR game?
Here we go. So that's what I'm going to talk about.
No, I'm not saying we can only have one VR game. I just think Astrobot's a better game.
I'm not going to fight you on this, but I don't like the idea, like what you're getting at. Because we could have both over anything else.
Yeah. I just think, out of my personal top 10, and Astrobot came close.
What if I said you can only have one side-scroller, Wandersong or Celeste?
All right, well then...
You get what I'm saying?
That.
I'm not attacking you, but I'm saying I agree that Moss is not going to make it, but I don't think that... You know what I mean? Like, I really like Moss, and I think in another year it may be a top 10 game, but I don't think it hangs on this list.
All right.
You haven't played it?
I haven't touched it yet. Have you finished it, correct?
I finished it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because I know it's not. It's like 5 hours.
Yeah, and you know what it is? It's a good game. It's not a great game. I prefer... The reason I really like it is the animation and the story is interesting.
And I remember you saying you played it on the Tales of Astrobot, which...
Right on its tail. Yeah.
So that's a tough...
Very tough. So, yeah, I really like Moss, but I don't think it's going to hang.
That it's gone.
Yeah. All right. I will take off Frostpunk. I know I'm the only one that played Frostpunk. This is the game that I wish I spent more time with this year, because I played it for a couple hours, probably about 5 hours, and then Battletech came out, and I fell in love with Battletech, and I stopped playing Frostpunk. Frostpunk was this RTS where you're basically managing. Remember, it's in this frozen tundra, apocalyptic frozen world where you have this big generator in the center of the city, and you have to keep feeding it, and you're like sending your people out on missions. It's like it is such an amazing game, and I just didn't play it enough. And so I can't keep it on this list, even though it was really, really cool. That's going to be a game where next year I'm going to be like, oh, what a game. I wish, Frostpunk.
Well, it comes down to timing sometimes. It happens,
Down to 21.
I'll tell you what, we're getting into the...
Oh, yeah.
We're getting into the fight zone here. So, we do get to keep 10 of them, which is nice. But that means we have to get rid of 11.
Got to get rid of 11 of these.
Which is not going to be easy.
No.
So I haven't played a ton of these, and Dan, you might find me on this, but...
Which Dan?
LaMarca. You might find me on this, but I feel like I have to take Ashen out right now. And I know that's going to be a tough one. I only played an hour of it, so I don't have as much time in it as you do. And from what I've played, like I said, coming off our last episode where on Game Pass I downloaded Ashen, I downloaded Below, and I downloaded Mutineer Zero. And of the three, Ashen was great, but my least favorite of the three as far as gameplay and story. So that's why I'm trying to make a hard cut here.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I really like Ashen.
And again, I'm not a huge, haven't played all the Dark Souls, so I know.
And I mean,
that's a tough one.
The other thing I would say is I came on the podcast after playing the first hour of Ashen, and I was like, it seems like Dark Souls. I don't know, it doesn't seem that great. And then I played 20 more hours of it, and on the next podcast, I was in love with it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean.
Oh man. It's tough. Like I said, I played an hour of that. I've played an hour of
Ashen will be on my list, no doubt. I love this game. I think it does so many cool things with like how you're building out your settlement and your town. Like literally, buildings get built as you're out on missions. It is so cool.
Doing stuff like
you
that.
see like the beginnings of it, and then you come back and they did a little more, and then when the building's finished, you're like, holy shit, look at this! Like,
and I do like like your main quest, your side quests. You can keep track of them. Your heavy light.
It's just such an interesting idea to say like. Let's take Dark Souls, the most isolating, like, dour experience, and let's put you with a co-op partner at all times.
Brighten it up.
Let's brighten it up a bit. Like, and then the reason it succeeds is because when it's so bright all the time, you go into the cave, and it's so dark. Have you gone into the cave yet or no? You went into the first... You didn't beat it though, right? You didn't beat the boss?
No, I didn't get through it.
It's so dark and scary because... You're not used to that. In Dark Souls, that's all you have.
I mean, it's got this really
and that's not true, but you know.
It's got this completely gray palette to it. The game. When you first
it's a lot of flat colors.
Exactly,
shading.
But it is super bright. What you're talking about? It's almost like a sunny, cloudy day.
Yeah.
But I will say, right away when you get to make your character in the beginning, I find it hysterical that they have no faces.
No faces.
It's so funny.
That's great.
And what I did, I just made him have hair on top, and then I did like the stupid chin strap, so that it was just a no face with just hair all around it.
That's so good.
I thought it was hysterical.
That's hysterical.
One thing I will say about the co-op thing, I really like the concept with that, having people be able to jump in and out. But there were some points where, especially in the beginning, I was not great at the controls, and then I would turn around and my co-op guy is just gone because somebody jumped in and decided, hey,
I'm gonna go
do something else. And I'm getting my ass kicked a little bit.
Yeah, the thing I will say is you can disable online multiplayer. In the start menu, you can disable online, and then you'll always have an AI.
Okay. So I think, personally, as I continue, because I'm going to continue to play it, I'll go and do that probably.
Yeah. The thing that I'll say, and the reason that I'll say it can go, is it is it can be frustrating, and there's one difficulty spike in particular that almost like turned me off from the game. The second main dungeon was so much harder and so much longer than anything else you've ever done in that game. And then right after it, it's back to like the normal mode. Like it's so weird that one dungeon is like really, really difficult.
Are you sure you need to in the right
order?
Well,
you need to like it gates your progress. This game, it'll be like there's a passage block. Find this person in the bottom of the dungeon, and they'll unlock it or something like that. So I really, that was the one detractor I had from this game. I'm also at what I would call a second difficulty spec. I'm right at the end of the game. I haven't beaten it, but it's really hard where I'm at right now. But I really, really like this game. I think it's definitely going to be on my top 10, but I could see it going.
I know I'm going to enjoy it more. I just haven't played enough of it to be at that point.
It's an excellent game. I would highly recommend it to anyone that enjoys that style of Dark Souls gameplay.
And I think it's the perfect introduction for me into cause
it's such a good intro game. It is
Demon's
so
Souls
good.
is the only one I've played, and I played like maybe 2 hours of it.
Yeah, that's not the best one to play.
And it's got a little bit better controls. I think I'm gonna enjoy this one, and maybe then try and pick up Dark Souls.
That's what you should do.
Yeah, you know, and especially now that Dark Souls is remastered and everything.
And then play Bloodborne.
If you like
and Sekiro, which
Yeah.
comes out this next year.
Well, Bloodborne is PS4 exclusive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so maybe I'll do it for
All right,
for my
Ashen.
PS.
Best game.
Sorry, Ashen.
One thing I want to say about Ashen real
Keep
quick while I can talk about it, there's and again, spoilers, we're not going to say it every time, you just got to know that. There's a moment where, so when you unlock fast travel in this game, you can travel between the rune stones. Have you activated multiple of them?
I activated 2 of them.
So you can't travel between them until you get to this certain point. And the point is you get to this, basically you walk into this area and this big flying manta ray looking thing, just in the sky, like flying.
Oh, I think I remember you saying this, and you were like, "This is so." Cool.
And it's so crazy looking. You're like, what is that? I didn't know this was that kind of game, like this kind of crazy mysticism. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you go to this area, and it's like free the baby Diacera or something. So I'm like, what? So you beat this big boss, and this baby manta ray looking thing. It's not a manta ray, but it looks like a little manta ray with 2 horns, and it's like blocked up, and when you kill the boss, he unleashes, and that's your fast travel as you fly on his back. And it is the coolest thing to do that for the first time, because you don't even know that you're ever going to get fast travel. And so you go to the next stone, and you see the guy like swoop in. Every time you leave an area and you go to the next stone, you see him like fly in and land on top of the stone, and he's just like perched there, and it's so fucking cool.
Dope.
And whenever you travel somewhere else, it shows a little brief clip of him like flying in, and you're like riding on his back on the horn.
That's awesome.
That's pretty.
The
awesome.
animation on that thing is so cool. Like
I feel like when you start the game with Bataran, I want to say his name is, or something like that, and he's just got one arm.
Yeah,
like half an arm.
And so that becomes a main story point.
Yeah,
is
like somebody's trying to cure him or something.
Yeah, there's like a disease that is afflicting every creature.
And I found the woman who was trying to help him and everything. Yeah, so.
The other really cool point I want to say, you're actually almost at it. I'm sorry, I'm spoiling it.
Go for it. That's
but in the first dungeon, when you beat the first boss, which is right where you are, when you beat that boss, you go into this deeper part of the dungeon. There's it's a dark cave with like water, and you see something like swimming in the water, like a big thing, and you're scared. Obviously, you don't know what the hell's going on, and you go to the edge, and there's a woman sitting there, and you're like, oh, she says like, oh, do you wish to speak with whoever? And this giant, literally a giant woman, like pops her head out of the water, and it's a huge giant like sitting there, and it's so cool. It does that sense of scale like so well. There are so many great moments in this game.
Fairy.
That's how you.
I'm telling you, this game is special. It's a very, very good game.
Yeah. I wish I was able to put more hours into it. I just haven't been there yet.
Right. All right. Action's gone.
All right, top
What do you
20.
got, Dan? Top 20.
Ooh.
Mega Man 11 is a great game. And it is a great Mega Man game. But I can think of 10 more better games. And that's my reason.
That was like a terrible high school essay. Mega Man 11 is a great game.
It's like a Christmas story when he writes like, I think the Red Ryder BB gun is a great Christmas gift. I should get that for Christmas. It's just like
it's a great game. Here,
Mega Man 11. Technically amazing. The bosses are unique and incredible.
Weapons are so good.
The weapons are so good. The music's incredible. The stages are incredible.
keep hyping it.
The voice acting is horrible.
Well, yeah.
The stories, But then you don't play Mega Man games for stories.
I was gonna
Seriously, the reason why I wanted to take off Mega Man 11 is I can think of 10 better games than Mega Man 11, and that's not taking away its merit. There's 10 games here that I think are truly better than Mega Man 11. It does not fall in my personal top 10. And Daniel, I know how you feel about it.
You heard it. I think he's about to start unbuttoning his shirt. It's
So
getting
please,
hot.
yeah.
Steam's coming
So
out of
please,
the
yeah,
ears
you're getting a little red. Fight it. That's totally fine. That's what this is all about.
No, I know. I just can't.
Problem is, we're top 20.
Yeah, I
and getting
know,
down
I
to
know.
it, and that was my
hard.
feeling.
Again, this is another one that is going to be on my top 10. But
See, I'm so curious to see your top 10 because I feel like there's been like 7 already that you're like.
there's
oh,
three.
this is my top
There's
10.
been 3. Battletech, Ashen, and this. Those are definitely top 10 games. But, I know you weren't as fond of it as I was, and I know there are a lot of games still left on this list, so I could see it going.
Please fight it though.
That's it.
It's gone.
Mega Man 11, third best Mega Man game of all time.
I mean, that was a good throw though.
That came closer to you.
Third best Mega Man game of all time.
Third best
so you guys
behind.
know.
And I know.
Behind 2 and 3.
And I know we disagree on that for superficial reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just have. I think the nostalgia bug for old Mega Man games, entices me just a little bit more. But still, I can appreciate this game. My feelings on this game have evolved. I can appreciate this game for what it does now, and it really is a solid game. Like I said,
There's something to top 10.
I just think I can pick
All right.
10 better
It's
games.
gone.
This is so hard. I'm staring at this list and I'm having a lot of
I'm
trouble.
going to remove Bloodstained, Curse of the Moon.
Okay.
Really excellent Castlevania game.
Agreed.
Maybe similar to what you just said about Mega Man 11. It does what it's doing really well. It's an excellent game. I really enjoyed my time with it. It just doesn't do anything too new or exciting in the genre, in my opinion. So,
I feel the same. I feel the same way about that game that I feel about Mega Man 11. I love the old Mega Man games. I love the old Castlevania games. Awesome playing those games again. I mean, it's not a Castlevania game, but it is a Castlevania game.
Yeah.
Like, it's awesome playing those games again.
Yeah,
But
it may as well be a
It's
Castlevania
awesome
game.
playing those games again, and I really, really enjoy that.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just like the old ones have a special place in my heart, but also I appreciate those old ones so much more. And again, I can name 10 better games, and that's my reason why I got rid of.
Shell, what you got?
I hate to do this to you again. I'm gonna have to take off because I've looked into this game so much, and don't get me wrong, I really, really want to play this, but Yoku's Island Express
Yeah.
is something.
Yoku's it's not gonna hang here.
Yeah, I just don't see it being one of those games. However,
It is so much fun.
That's what I mean.
It's so much fun.
I love games that don't need a ton of stuff, but where you're just sitting here like, I could play this for hours on end because
It is
amazing fun to play.
It is such a joyous game.
Yeah.
It is amazing. I love
It just
that
like
game.
it's like a little bug moving it around.
Yeah, it's a little
like
dung
pinball
beetle.
aspects. It seems like a really cool.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's super great. I think the writing is really, really underappreciated in this game. It's really funny. Well written. The music's great. Love the art style.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's not going to make top 10 here.
Yeah, nice little pilot going on.
Dan, you're back up.
All right. How do you boys feel about taking Shadow of the Tomb Raider off the list?
Are you now?
I did not play it.
I know, and I've only recently put a few hours into it. Oh, that's a tough one.
For the same reason Guacamelee, I love Tomb Raider. I love the sequel. What was the...
Are you talking about the new
Rise
ones?
of the, I'm talking about the new ones.
Alright, so Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider,
Yes.
and now
Oh
Shadow of
man,
the Tomb Raider.
awesome! Like everything I could want from an action adventure game. I love the leveling up system. I love the upgrading your weapon system. I just love the landscapes. Seriously, awesome games. Which was the most recent one?
Shadow of the Tomb
I
Raider.
mean, before that one.
Rise.
Rise of the
Rise.
Tomb Raider.
I put I can't the amount of hours I put into that
I
game.
streamed
Awesome.
that game.
Awesome.
Quick.
Loved it. But having said that, let's just say those games came out this year. I same sort of thing. I
You
think
personally would have a hard time putting it on.
I think I could still name 10.
Better games.
Personally,
Here's what I'm going to say about it, and I'll let it go.
and that's what I'm basing it on. So
I'll
you
let
can
it
fight
go
me
because
on
I'm not far enough into it to make valid excuses to keep it here.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a love letter to the franchise in the sense that I think the first game of the new series was so fresh, so new. You had that crafting system, you had a bow and arrow, not two guns, and stuff like that. And then they made Rise, fantastic again. I think might have even been a little bit better. I'd have to go back and play them again. And then somebody else made this game, the new one, the Shadow of the Tomb Raider. It was still
It's still Square Enix,
but it had a few other developers on it. But these are people who love the original Tomb Raider games, 100%. I'll tell you, in the first hour or two, there's a moment that is just such a callback to an old one where you come face to face with two jaguars that remind me so much of the tiger battle in, I want to say it was Tomb Raider 2. And it is so nostalgic, and it's just you and two jaguars popping out of holes coming at you, and all you have is like 5 arrows, and that you just gotta make sure you're getting good strikes, diving out of the way at the right time.
That's awesome.
And it finally kind of puts Lara Croft in her place a little bit. Like, there's a moment in the beginning, I forget her buddy's name, that would start with her in the new series, the bigger Hawaiian guy. But he turns around and she's like, I gotta do this, I gotta go save these people, and there's like a landslide going on, so she's like, I gotta go stop this person, and he's like, Laura, stop, think about what you're doing, we can help people right here, stop being so friggin' selfish, and be part of the help right now, instead of just going off and thinking you're the only one who can do this, you know? So at that point I was like, man, you know, like, this guy just put this little Brit in her place, and it was cool to see. You know, and I thought it was really good, but again,
and from what I've heard and I've looked into, I am not personally too pleased with. So they act in the beginning like they're trying to subvert the white savior trope, right? So it's like he's basically saying like you're not like these people.
You don't have to do this. There's like these people are literally losing their homes and dying in front of you, and all you want to do is leave. He's like, be the help. You know?
Yeah, and I've heard, you know, later on they don't really stick the landing with any of that.
Yeah.
And again, I personally think at the point where we're at in the world, why are we still making games about raiding tombs? Personally, I have no idea about that. Like, that's fucked up. I don't know what the fuck we're doing still. But again, I like the first two are just really fun to play.
I'll tell you, the gameplay is super fun, super fluid, super easy, but
and they totally have transformed that series back into. So when you say it's a love letter to the old Tomb Raiders,
I just felt like there was those moments.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, as a person that doesn't care for those old games, that's not interesting to me, because I know that this game is even more actiony than the previous ones, because it's a more focus on gunplay and whatever else, and less about like sneaking around and doing what you have to do to survive or whatever. But you know, is what it is. You're the one that's played it. I haven't really played it. I've just read a lot about it.
I don't remember what the. Can you do me a favor and take Tomb Raider off the shelf right there and tell me what the rating on it is? To your left.
They're all M.
Are they all M?
Yeah.
Rated M.
They're all M. They were always
for blood and gore, drug
Yeah.
reference, intense violence, and strong language.
Okay, because this one in particular, I noticed
super violent.
the F word.
Oh, really?
Constantly. And
Weird.
like shit and F word. Like,
that's weird.
It was weird. Like, the dialogue's not great. And that was my one trope with it right away. But I'm still going to finish it. I'm going to play the heck out of it.
All right, so
yeah,
cool.
I can see you
that
going.
off.
Shout out to Tomb Raider.
All
right.
All right, we're going to do one more before we take a break. We're going to get down to 15. I'll reread the 15, and then we'll call them. Okay. So what's your last one before we get to 15?
He just did Shadow.
I just did Shadow. You got
you did Shadow? I thought you did
he
it.
did Shadow.
You got
okay.
it, buddy.
So you're up.
I thought I was off the hook.
Nice try.
Thought.
All right. I'm going to do one that we have all played.
Oh, God.
Oh, boy.
Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom.
Oh, my God.
See,
I don't know if I can let you do that.
I don't think so.
So listen,
I don't know
hear
if
me
I can
out.
let you do that.
So Ni no Kuni 2, this is what I thought he was doing before. When he said, me and Han loved the first one.
I love Ni no Kuni too.
Ni no Kuni, the first one, I adored. Ni no Kuni 2, I really liked. I think it got bogged down by a little too long of a story, and it didn't keep me interested. There's a definite point where it's like, after you do the technology, like in that range, it starts to slow down pretty hard. And I know they have that whole like the area in the water area where you have that whole betrayal going on, and you're like trying to figure out.
That's towards the end.
Oh yeah.
I'm like one chapter away from the end of the game. That just is like that's like the way.
Yeah, where they're doing the whole. It's kind of like a twist and stuff like that.
Right. Well, spoilers. Where it's like, oh, Roland is gonna.
The betrayal.
Yeah.
That stuff's really fucking cool, but right around that time, like I just started losing steam in the game, and I do not like the kingdom stuff.
Really, that's like my favorite thing, and
I
couldn't disagree with you more. Yeah,
I don't like the kingdom stuff, and I really don't like the fucking war stuff. The war stuff where you have to like command your troops in a different direction or whatever. Skirmishes.
I hate those. I will say I hate those.
You guys like the kingdom stuff?
I love.
I think the kingdom stuff is so much fun, honestly, and
I find it interesting, but it's not. I don't enjoy it.
I hated, not to cut you off, Shelby.
No, go ahead.
I hated like in Fallout, where you had to build the the settlements and make sure there's.
I don't play Fallout, so I don't.
Okay, I hated that stuff, and like I didn't think I would like this with Ni no Kuni 2 because I thought, this is tedious, this is silly. I don't know. It's so much fun, and meeting characters that you can put into different spots.
I like that. That's what I'm saying. I like the idea of it, but the actual micromanaging where you have to like assign people to do certain things, I'm like, ugh.
That's what made me love it, because in the sense where like Red Dead Redemption 2, where you go back and you can build up your base, but it really doesn't freaking matter. This mattered, where it's like, I gotta go find a person who could do this, and then level them up and get them to do that. Like, that to me kept it going in those in-between parts where you're saying it kind of lulled for you on the main storyline. And then I was like, well, I can turn around and do all this, and I loved the.
But same, and I feel like it made exploring the individual kingdoms so much more unique, because you really, it's not like you visited town and left. Like you had to like go and talk and like.
You gotta revisit it.
So are you guys saying?
That's what I mean. Like, but like I enjoyed that so much.
You guys saying Ni no Kuni 2 is gonna stay?
I love Ni no Kuni 2.
I can't let it go right now. I can't do it.
First one that's hanging on.
I
So
love
I got to pick a different game apparently. I don't know. Do you guys not see 10 games on here that are better than Ni no Kuni?
It is really hard.
All right, I'm gonna do Super Smash Bros. Ultimate instead.
I understand.
Really fucking good Smash.
Yeah.
Really good Smash. I've been playing a lot of it, especially over the holidays with family. It's awesome.
That's incredible.
World Light Mode, really fucking cool. I really, really like this game. I just, personally, there are games on here that matter more to me than Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
That's a hard one to let go to, but I agree with you.
I have no problem.
I agree with you there.
So we're down to 15. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. And we're back. 15 games left. I'm going to read them off quick. We're going to update you guys. So, what we have on our 15 is God of War, Dead Cells, Florence, Marvel Spider-Man, Into the Breach, Minute, Mutant Year Zero Road to Eden, Celeste, Astrobot Rescue Mission, Deltarune Chapter 1, Wandersong, Ni no Kuni 2 Revenant Kingdom, Return of the Obra Dinn, Below, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Shelby's up.
It's a tough one.
It's a toughie.
It's going to be a tough one. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Alright, let's see. No, there are a couple I haven't... And when I say a couple, I think like two I haven't played. Alright, let's see. So, you guys are going to fight me on this, but...
Oh, gosh.
We'll see.
Yeah. As far as the top 10, I think Dead Cells, I would personally take off.
That's so tough.
But here we are. We're at a point where there are 15 games left, and every single time one of us says something,
I know it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
I don't think,
but that's why we need to. That's why we have these discussions is to figure it out.
Personally, Dead Cells is something I think.
When I played Dead Cells in August, I think it came out. For me, I was already like, all right, this is like definitely gonna be top 10. I love it. I haven't played like a roguelike game like that in quite some time. As good as Dead Cells in a long time, probably since Rogue Legacy. Loved it. Loved the Metroidvania aspect of it. Loved the art style. But you know what? It came to a point where I just stopped playing it, and I think I lost that sort of urge to keep going.
Was it a difficulty thing? Or?
No, it wasn't even a difficulty thing, and it wasn't even that it got less intriguing. It stayed intriguing.
Something better.
Every level. I think I just
started playing other games. And
started playing other games, fell by the wayside.
It came out a week before Spider-Man, I think.
Okay,
or 2
that's
weeks.
What it was.
So that's also tough. I remember that my only. I mean, I know I've seen the game and gameplay, but Dan playing it for about 10 minutes was my full experience.
Right.
I said when my 10th to my 15th game could all be interchangeable and I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah, so this
it's in that.
Right in there.
Yeah, it's in that.
You know what I mean? So like
definitely.
it's tough, but
Yeah, Dead Cell's an excellent game, and I will say when I beat the boss for the first time, like, and only time, I was like, it was like high moment, one of the high moments of the year, like beating that final boss was so cool. But right when I did it, and I haven't gone back once.
It doesn't have that replay factor that...
Okay.
I mean, it does, but there's something to it where it's like, once you get off of it, you're kind of like, maybe that's it. I can see it going.
Alright, I'm not too...
Dead Cells is gone.
My Dead Cells.
It was a great game.
It was an awesome game. Seriously, play it.
I still want to
it's
again.
Cool. It's cool.
You're
If you like roguelike games.
I have a backlog on Switch of games
a lot of people aren't.
Did you check his?
Yeah, he's good to go. There's a backlog on Switch of games that I was like, I need to play all these.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Or I don't even, is it on Switch?
It is,
PS4?
It's on PS4
whatever
too.
it's on.
A lot of fun, but it didn't have the staying power, like you said.
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, up to date.
I'm gonna get
We
rid
need
of...
to do another round.
Man, this is hard. I'm gonna get rid of Deltarune, Chapter 1.
Really?
I'm with him on that.
Yes.
Really?
Love Undertale. I love Deltarune. I am super excited to see
Now
what
hold
Toby
on.
Fox
Do
does next.
you feel this way because it feels incomplete to you?
Yes. That's a good... Because I know there's more to come.
Yeah. Whereas we were talking before, in the sense where Dan was saying, I believe it was Life is Strange, Season 2, Episode 1, he said it just didn't feel like
When
enough.
you said that...
But Deltarune Chapter 2 is going to come out in 3 or 4 years, probably. Like, we have no idea when that game's coming. That's not quite the same as an episodic game that's about to come out.
You're right.
But still...
This is a pretty, I mean...
I know this is a big one. And I love Undertale to death. And I love this to pieces. We're gonna spoil... We all played it, right? We all finished it?
I didn't finish the very end. I did play more of it. I only got another hour in. So I probably have another hour or two left.
Okay.
Well, but we can spoil it.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
For anybody that's a fan of Undertale and Undertale lore, what happens at the end, the end, where Chris is in his bed and rips the heart out and...
And it's not Chris.
It's not Chris, it's Chara?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like,
Crazy.
oh my gosh, like
Crazy.
what the hell just happened?
And that's when you're starting to think Ralsei is Asriel. Like,
it's like a prequel.
There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's either a prequel or an alternate universe. I have no way of knowing yet, but they're doing some really cool stuff.
My favorite.
That end part, man. No, what I'll say is when you get to walk back through that town.
Oh yeah, you see everybody.
Everybody's
there, and Sans is there. I love Undertale. I loved it so much. Undertale would have been top 5 games of 2015, top games ever. I just don't think that Deltarune... what I really loved about Deltarune was the way it was so much more upfront about its message. And I think that's really, really cool. I loved how, I forget the characters' names, it's been a while. The main character who just wants to kill everything, and like you have to purposely go out of your way to prevent that and be a pacifist. And I love how the themes are very hit home. I feel like that's Toby Fox's way of talking to the community and being like, none of you guys understand what my game's about.
You know what I didn't look up is what happens. Is Ralsei just like the only one if you're like also attacking?
Oh yeah.
Like, I wonder what happens.
Ralsei
Ralsei is the
wizard.
The guy with
the
the
wizard.
scarf.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it starts with a P, doesn't it? It's a purple monster thing.
I mean, she is purple.
Sarah or something like that.
I
don't remember.
What I'm saying is, if you're attacking as well, and you're not trying to stop
I don't know.
Preventing it does have a different
That I
outcome.
should have looked into, but I'm
The
sure.
game is short enough to where.
Oh, I'm sure it
Shot.
differs in some way.
I loved it. And that's the thing, and we're at the point now where it's not that I didn't love it, I love 10 games more. And it's hard. It might have been, maybe
Here's
it might
the
have
thing, I personally like it more than I liked Undertale so far.
Yeah.
And I haven't finished it yet.
That's also incredible.
Man, that boss fight at the end.
Oh, yeah.
So
good.
And then the first time you go into battle, and it goes, "Bring," and then it goes into
It's so
3.
good. Yes.
And they changed the whole fighting
I
style.
feel like now it looks like I didn't like
cool.
it. Like I really liked it. I don't want it to come off that I didn't love it.
Man, that's rough, dude.
Well,
It's my pick.
if you don't want it gone, then
Yeah, you can fight it.
I'm not gonna fight it
Why not? Wait, why not? Why aren't you gonna fight
because
it?
I see 10 other games.
All
on
right,
it.
so I'm not such a bad guy.
You know. Deltarune is gone.
Deltarune.
Did not see that coming. I thought that was making top 10.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna kill my baby. Mutant Year Zero: Road to Eden.
Okay.
I love this game. I played through it really quick because I really did fall in love with it when I first played it. It just recently came out early December. There are some seriously amazing moments in this game, and it tells such a great story throughout. Like the first time that there's a whole, and I don't need to get into it because we're not really arguing to keep it on or not. I'm taking it off myself, but it does some really, really cool stuff with that Stalker, lore universe that it kind of takes from. But it's just a great game. It's just such a good story with such a good world they built.
It's again, this is a world that you're familiar with from Roadside Picnic, and then I've only played an hour of it, and it seems like one of those games where I can see exactly what he's saying. Like it has this lore to it where you're like, I want to know more.
See, that's awesome because like Stalker's probably top 20 movies ever.
It's so cool, man. This game is so cool.
It just has that look to it, like that dystopian little.
Oh, it's great.
You want to know.
It does such a good job at setting up its world.
I will say, in the first hour, I thought it was pretty funny the dialogue that not the mutants, because you're the mutants. The other people have
the ghouls. Yeah.
The ghouls, and they're just like, "Oh, those mutants! I just want to kill those mutants." And when you're walking by them, and you're like,
they all have so many. They all have so many like the writing in this game is so cool because it's.
I love the dialogue between the two main characters.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you'll come across something and it's goofy, but it works. You'll come across like a outside like playhouse, right? Mm-hmm. Like a fake house that you used to go in as a little kid, like as a toddler, and like pretend it's your house, right?
Little types.
And so you go there, and you see that like because you're going through like the real world before anything, like everyone's gone, but the world's still there. And so you see this little playhouse, and you were walking by, and you're like, there used to be humans that were so small that would live in these houses. And they're like, that's really freaky. Like they're like so like freaked out by it. Like they don't understand anything because they never lived in the world before. That's awesome. It's so funny. They have a lot of moments like that where it's just like really funny. Like, wow, I guess that is weird if you think about it.
That's awesome.
Like if you didn't know better. But
when I first started out, I was like, I know he's a duck, but it was like a Timon and Pumbaa kind of vibe to it for me.
Yeah, totally.
Like a messed up dark world of Timon and Pumbaa kind of going back and forth with each other.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's a great game. I really highly recommend it. But that's one that's going to be right on that verge for me. It might not even make mine, but I really love that game.
Okay.
Shell?
All right, you guys are going to hate me, but I have to take off Florence, personally.
I don't know.
How many do we have left? We got 12.
Gotta get rid of 2.
I haven't touched it.
Okay.
So
man,
that's why
you never got around to that?
That's why I'm taking
45-minute game.
I know. I haven't touched it.
We'll just watch you play it right now, actually, on the episode.
That's what you should have done.
I could have gotten it done so far.
Because we were talking about Gris, and and I mentioned specifically that there's a few games that dealt with those themes like so well and better than Gris even did. Like Florence was one of those games in my mind that in 45 minutes packed this punch.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I didn't mean to even copy. I think you said that too last episode, but like I totally agree. This emotional roller coaster ride in 45 minutes in a mobile device game, which doesn't get any credit.
Yeah. I'm going to fight for this to stay. And the reason is it tells a story about a relationship, right? And so at the beginning of the relationship, you see this girl single, and then you see her stumble across this guy. He's playing like cello or bass, whatever. He's playing in like the park, or like he's playing in the open or something, and she like stays behind, and they end up like having a relationship. And it goes through all the stages of the relationship. It's the excitement. They're having a great time. They move in together. You rearrange the stuff when you're moving into the same apartment. And then things start to fade and they're fighting. And what this story does that I love, because you never see this in fiction, you never see this in any fiction, is a relationship from start to end. And then, of course, usually what you get is the girl is sad afterwards, and that's the end of the story. Or you get the girl is sad afterwards, and then the guy
They get
comes
back
back
together.
and they get back together. You know what they do in this? The girl is sad afterwards, and then she moves on and learns from her relationship, and now uses it as a stepping stone to be like, because that's what your life is. You're having relationships with people, and they're influencing your life. And this is a game where it's like a relationship that can end badly,
But like it's still a positive.
can still be a positive influence on your life. And it's so realistic, and it hits home for me where it's just like, I get it, because like that's realistic. Nobody does that.
The best part for
Nobody
me,
does
and this
that.
is total spoilers, right at the end, she's in her office and she gets a promotion, or no, she starts a new business or
Yeah,
something. She leaves her job.
she's an artist, right?
So she's like taking off all like...
She went
you know,
to a gallery,
Yeah,
and that's
yeah.
what it was, yeah.
She's taking away all, her flowers, or, she's taking everything off her desk, and under her keyboard was a picture of her and this guy that she was with.
Yeah.
And like... And, like you said, in other fiction, you would have seen that they take the picture, they rip it, or,
Yeah.
they look at the picture, like, I gotta go call, and,
Right.
main thing. She looks at it, and she smiles, and, like, she puts that in her box as, like,
Yeah.
and, like,
Like,
I
this
don't
was
know.
a good
I've
memory.
had, like,
I had a good relationship
these
with
sort of
this person.
situations
Yeah.
where, you have something from an old girlfriend or whatever, and, like, you get to the point where, like, you're not sad, you're not angry, it's just like, oh, that was, like, a chapter in my life. That's,
Yeah.
like, interesting that, we crossed
Yes.
paths for a little bit.
So
Yes.
same thing in Eat, Pray,
And,
Love.
But what I'm saying, the reason...
Tell me it hasn't been done before.
Well, the reason this is so good is because it's just doing it. It's not it's just telling you this
Without
story.
throwing it in your face.
That shit is not pretentious
It's
or
not
preachy
saying
in
like,
any way. It's just,
oh, I hope you learned that a relationship that ends can still be a good
it
one.
just
It's like,
is, yeah.
it just was part of the story, and it was just so well done. I really personally would like to see this in the
Well,
top 10.
if it stays, it stays. That was.
No, I know,
That was
but that's how we,
Yeah, that's how this works.
what are you gonna get instead then?
I don't know. That's the tough part. Can't take any of his wife.
These 12 are especially
Jesus
ridiculous.
Christ. I mean, you're not gonna let me get rid of the next one either, but I'm gonna attack Wander Song. Listen, there's 2 games on this list I haven't played. Those are the 2 games. Those are the only 2 games I haven't played on this
Wander
list.
Song is not coming off the list. I'm sorry, it's not. It's making.
Shelby, I'm so sorry. That's there's 2 games on there. One of them is one of them that I will fight.
Tooth and nail for.
Tooth and nail
Alright,
for.
That's fine.
I'm sorry, Shelby, we're making your job
Jesus.
so far.
This is why I'm telling you guys. Cooney 2 needs to come off this
No, I
list.
can't let it happen. Can't let it happen. Quick thing, we gotta get 2 off so that Nino Cooney makes it.
All right, so I gotta start thinking too. Because
All right, hold on. If we're at a stop here, if we're at a tough point, can we start putting games that we know
Oh, good
are
idea.
going to be on the
Okay.
list?
what games
Yeah,
are definitely
okay.
top 10? I think.
So let's say, I mean, we said Wander Song, right?
Wonder Song
If
definitely.
you guys want to have that, definitely on.
Do we all agree Red Dead? Are we putting that on there
You think
somewhere?
Red Dead? Definitely.
Well, okay, let's talk about the big heavy hitters this year.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
All right.
I like this.
All right, seriously, the big.
All right, for me, God of War and Spider-Man, I feel have to be on that top 10.
I'm with you. I like God
I
of War
agree.
and Spider-Man more than Red
God
Dead.
of War, Spider-Man.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Celeste has to be
Okay,
on.
I'm also-
Celeste should definitely be on there. Astrobot, personally, I feel has to be on there.
Okay.
So I know that might not be because you've only played a few levels.
But I love that Shabbat.
And I just feel like, as somebody who just got virtual reality, it was such an experience for me that
Astrobot's got to be on there.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so here's my. I totally agree, but you can even see from before my
Yeah.
sort of gestalt against VR was just almost like I don't know VR.
Behind me. Yeah.
Like
Here's my thing.
blown away.
I don't know if it wasn't VR, if that would even be close for me.
But I totally
But
agree.
To be in that experience.
Yeah.
with
Yes.
that game
We'll talk.
is what
Yeah,
makes
we'll get into it when we start to
I
ranking.
totally
But
agree.
if we're saying it's definitely in the top 10, then let's leave
Yeah.
that.
So you got 5 right
Are there any other in this group that you think definitely have to be on? Because I think Into the Breach has to be on.
I also agree with Into the Breach.
Yeah, I know how much you love that game, so.
But now we have 6 that we're saying are definites. Do we want to do any more, or are we gonna?
If you guys feel Red Dead needs to be on there, then
Okay, we can talk about it.
No.
It doesn't have to be. That's actually that's gonna be
It's
that's like
interesting.
up in arms.
Interesting. I'm intrigued. I'll say that.
Dan, okay.
I personally say Oberdin needs to be on, but I know that I'm the only one
I
that
haven't
has played
played
most of
enough
that.
of it yet.
Yeah, so I'm not going to say it's definitely on here, but I could not see this
Yeah.
list without Oberdin. Oberdin is a contender for number 1.
Here's
for
my
me.
tough ones. Again,
See,
Florence I already went at. So, but you got Florence, Minute, Nino Cooney 2, Red Dead 2, Below, and Return of the Oberdin on our bottom 6 here. Florence I haven't played. Below I haven't played enough of, but it is a fantastic game. Minute is very short, but it is one of the best games I've played all year. And then Return of the Obra Dinn is also really good. So it's like hard.
I mean,
you know?
Below
Super
is the
hard.
only game here that I have full out
Not played.
not played in
And
any
I
capacity.
definitely have not played enough.
Any
of it.
capacity, I have not played Below.
But I'll tell you what, it's got the workings where I'm like, this is a great
Let's talk
game.
about this.
Like, it's so much fun
10,
to
top
play.
10 for you.
If I have a little bit more time with it, probably, yeah.
And then it's definitely top 10
I
for
can
you.
make an argument for it now.
I know Ni no Kuni is a game that Dan's itching to get on.
I just, I don't know. I'm looking at the rest of these games and I'm like, what the hell is gonna go?
It's so hard.
I will say this.
What if we just get rid of Red Dead 2 and Ni no Kuni 2?
Oh, you're doing a trade-off? Is
What
that
if we just do both of those?
No,
Then we have our 10.
I know I had my hesitation, but given how much I did enjoy it, I don't know if I can get rid of Red Dead either. Yet.
Brother. Too bad it's not a top 12.
Yeah, can't we do... Why does it have to be top 10? Wait, let's be revolutionaries here.
Yeah, revolutionaries.
What 2 games are we getting rid of here? I mean, Shelby, it's your choice. No, because I got to pick next, so please, I don't want to...
Well, we're literally the last 2 before our top 10
This
list.
is terrible.
So
Dan,
you guys can decide in tandem if you want.
all right, Shelby. We agree.
You make a
do
blood
we-
pact?
So, let's be
I
honest,
already
Shelby.
voiced mine.
Shelby, do we totally agree Ni no
did.
Kuni 2 is a top 10 game? We totally... Because, like...
I will say a bottom tier on the top 10, but
I agree. I put it like a 10.
personally, yes.
Okay. I also think Florida. See, okay, and you guys can fight me on this. Below, I have not played. I have no experience with Below. I have 0 experience with Below.
Yeah.
So it's easy for me to...
You heard that soundtrack.
The soundtrack's freaking amazing.
Oh, no. It's
But Below is
absolutely
easy for me to
100%.
say, not on my list, because I haven't played it.
Yeah.
If it's a top
So
10...
if anything, but if anything, shouldn't it be stronger if I said I have played something and it shouldn't be top 10? If you're gonna say, well, I haven't played it, so it shouldn't be top 10, I'm gonna say, well, what if I did?
To get rid of Ni no Kuni 2.
I love Ni no Kuni too, but I'm looking at these games, guys. I don't see it fitting on here.
All right, if that's the argument you're making, I'll allow it.
Well,
Because I understand what he's saying.
But then we got to
In a
take
sense
off
where,
another
like,
one then. Let's take off another game then.
I'm saying, I'm looking at these 12 games, and I think that's at the bottom of the 12.
I just love Ni no Kuni 2
I'm
so
looking
much.
at them. I think that's the bottom of the 12.
Alright. If we're going to get rid of Ni no Kuni 2, what else are we getting rid of?
I don't know. I voiced my opinion on Florence already, but you guys won't let it go.
I think Florence deserves to be top 10 for sure.
But
And
this is what I'm saying. I'm being honest. Minute, Oberdin, and below. How do you get like those games are like
For me,
Insanely
Minute,
amazing.
Oberdin, the big hitters here on this list, right here, are Minute, Florence, and Oberdin. And I know it's weird saying not Red Dead 2, but
dude.
I have
I
very
think we
sour
get rid of
feelings
Ni no
for-
Kuni and Red Dead,
Oh man!
and then we
Can you
got
imagine
we got
a,
such a top 10 right
a list
there.
without?
Look at that
Red
10.
Dead.
That's gonna be weird though, because that's everybody in the world's freaking most anticipated game of this year. Red Dead 2. Red Dead 2 soured me enough that I'm fine with it
It's
not being
such
in
a
the top
bad
10 though.
ending. That epilogue. It really put me off, man.
But can you say that and then turn around to a game you haven't finished, like Below, and say that that couldn't happen again? You know? And then turn around and be like, what if Below had a terrible ending? You know?
Could be. So you think Ni no
You-
Kuni and below?
Whoa.
Yeah. And again, it's because I haven't played enough of Below to be there. Now, do you have any gripes with Below that you... Are there anything about the game that you're not enjoying about it? I can personally tell you, so far playing, it's cool, I like it, but it's very difficult to get back to your character through all the stuff that you've done.
Yeah.
When you don't have the shortcuts and you have to get back and you don't have your light to shine anymore.
The thing that I've learned upon like really digging into Below and playing it a lot is that there are more shortcuts than you think. and
Yeah.
you're like I'm finding them all the time, and I'm digging around and finding these shortcuts that are like insane. Like I have a shortcut that's taking me down to level 21 or something. You know what I mean? Like,
And I do like, I think if you have like 25 of the...
you can make the blue fire.
Things, you get the blue fire, you can go back to the blue fire, which is cool. But I hate when I attack a guy who's running away from me and his little white thing
Goes
falls
off the
off the
edge.
cliff. That drives me nuts.
But it's awesome.
I know,
though.
it does. It makes it super interesting.
It does what it's doing
and I've
really
heard
well.
the game gets incredibly difficult towards the end.
I've seen. I was near the end.
Were you?
In one of my runs? Yeah.
I really love, and you were 100% nailed it on the sense where you were like,
This is fun.
when you were saying like it tells you nothing. You get out there and you're like,
Literally
what the
nothing.
hell did I just pick up?
Yeah,
you know,
literally
it's
nothing.
cool. But then you go to like, you find your inventory, you do all that stuff. But there's so many paths that you could take in the beginning of the game without even realizing it. You know, like you can go into
Oh, yeah.
stuff
You
like
can go
that.
into
You know,
crazy
like,
places,
you can
yeah.
go wherever you want. The map is kind of difficult at first when you're looking at it, but then it delves
Then you
itself
start
out.
to realize
yeah,
it,
yeah.
and then you realize, okay, on this floor, this is what the map looks like.
Yeah,
This is the shape of the
can't
map.
tell you how many times missing my lamp and not lighting up a torch and keeping it with me the whole time. How many times I walked into those stupid freaking spikes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Gotta have them torches.
Hate 'em.
Gotta have them
Hate 'em.
torches.
But yeah, so
Do you ever plant the gems? Like hit down to plant one?
no, I haven't done. Oh yeah, because they do light up. I haven't
Yeah.
done that. No, I haven't figured it out.
Sometimes I'll just kill enemies and not pick them up just to like
Just so you
scope out
can
the
light
area,
your way,
and
yeah.
then once I know that
I
there's
do
no
like they
traps,
give you
I'll
those
grab
little spots where you can light the fire and stuff like that, but they're afraid of the fire. They run away from you.
Yeah,
and that's
they
when
run
you go
away.
to the ledge, and then it's
Yep.
when, you know.
Yep. All right, are we agreeing? Are we getting rid of Blow
I think we have to.
and Nino Kuni too?
And I think come January, February, when we like make it towards the end of that game, we're gonna kick ourselves in the ass. But at the current moment,
Yeah.
I think
Why?
we can get rid of it.
Maybe you guys can help me. Why? Even though I like Nino Kuni 2 more than like Red Dead Redemption 2, Nino Kuni 2 I loved more than Red Dead Redemption 2. Why do I have a hard time not seeing Red Dead Redemption 2 in the top 10? Why do I still feel like Red Dead's got to be top 10? I don't know why. Why do I feel that way?
I was ready to let it go.
I think it has a lot of. I think the extensiveness of the game that you haven't touched. Whereas Nino Kuni 2, you can you see everything that you can do. There's just more of it to do. Whereas Red Dead, there's a lot of stuff in that game that I haven't even done.
Yeah.
You know, like so much more gambling I have. But so a lot of side stories. Whereas like Nino Kuni 2, you can kind of mainline and do the side stories at the same time and get them all done. Whereas Red Dead Redemption 2, there's so many side stories and stuff that you don't even know about. That you finish the game and you're like, I hated this, but there could have been a side story that you were like, oh man, that was the coolest one I've ever done.
So, for me personally,
I just think I'm
Red Dead Redemption 2 has higher highs than Nino Kuni 2.
That's fair, but I think overall,
Wow.
Nino Kuni 2 was a more solid experience.
Yeah, but I would disagree with you
Minus
with that,
the
but I think that's kind of why we think like that is like, man, there was a lot of really
Yeah.
good stuff in Red
Alright.
Dead. Like even if the whole thing isn't, even if you say the whole thing's not quite as good as Nino Kuni 2.
There weren't as many. Nino Kuni 2 was great, and even with that whole thing we were talking about with the betrayal and stuff, when you're walking up to the Braithwaite's place and
Oh, it was like
the
freaking-
Braithwaite's, like
yeah.
you're talking about a moment, like
Yeah.
an anamorphic.
It's like playing the Wild Bunch. It
anamorphically
was-
gra-
yeah.
like the whole thing was just unbelievable,
Mhm.
and that's something you don't forget, you know.
Yeah.
So I think
Shelby,
when
I'm-
fans saying higher highs, lower lows.
We getting rid of Nino Kuni 2 after fighting for its...
I know, you know what, but I'm not. I won't take back that I fought for it before because there were games that needed to go before it personally.
Alright, Shelby.
Yeah.
Right on.
Alright.
So I'll let it go.
Below and Nino Kuni 2
I'll allow it.
Okay.
are tied for 11th
Don the gavel.
with the rest of the games on the ground.
I picked
Get
them
her
up,
off.
so they're not on the ground
Get her
anymore.
off. All right, we have our top 10, ladies and gentlemen. So, in no particular
But when Nino
order,
Kuni 3 comes out,
in no particular order, I'm going to read these 10 games. We have Celeste, Florence, God of War, Minute, Wandersong, Into the Breach, Marvel Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, Astrobot Rescue Mission, and Return of the Obra Dinn.
so after that, is it obligatory for us to put Red Dead Redemption 2 at 9 or 10?
It's not obligatory, but it's
I
likely.
think it's bottom tier.
Yeah.
That's
Alright.
likely, yeah.
Do you think Nino Kuni 2 would have done better if Studio Ghibli stayed on?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I mean, I love...
That's just cutscenes. I mean,
Yeah, no, honestly,
they
it would
look
make that
so
big of a
good.
they
difference.
still look great.
The cutscenes were
I do prefer
great in the
games
first
where
game.
Like
They were really nice.
The cutscenes were beautiful, but where the gameplay, where your character in the cutscene and in gameplay look exactly the same, it makes it more believable.
See, I like Ni no Kuni 2 more than I like Ni no Kuni 1.
Wow.
Really?
It's just crazy.
That's nuts.
I know.
Ballsy.
All right. So what are we thinking? Or do we think? You say you want Red Dead near the back.
When I think of like the
I just see it just starting there.
when I look at AAA titles, you see God of War, Spider-Man, Red Dead, and I said it before. Red Dead's my least favorite out of those heavy hitters.
I would agree.
I'm fine with Red Dead being bottom.
Okay.
And despite being a PlayStation fanboy, it was going to be third to those other two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, for me.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep it near the bottom. It's not locked in at 10, but we'll keep it near the bottom. As far as other games that are near the bottom, do you guys have any ideas of what you're thinking? Do you want to see Florence down there maybe because it was kind of floating around a little bit?
I'm happy that Florence got top 10, honestly,
Yeah.
and this is a we're in a compromise or this is a circle back team podcast. I'm fine seeing Florence bottom tier. I'm just super happy that it's top 10, and I think it deservedly is top 10.
Okay. We're gonna put it near the bottom, and then
I'm okay with that for sure.
As far as I think, in my opinion, we have some contenders for number one. We're not gonna decide which one's number one, but the real contenders to me are Celeste, God of War, Into the Breach, Return of Obra Dinn, and Spider-Man. Maybe Wandersong. Those are though I could see any of those being top 10. I can't see Minute or top number one. I can't really see Minute or Astrobot being the number one game.
I agree.
I feel the same way.
I agree.
So we're just gonna put those up there, and then we can change the order whenever we are feeling it.
Okay.
Um,
I don't know.
Which way are you looking at right now? 1,
Yeah.
10?
I feel like Wandersong and Celeste, for me personally, on any given day are interchangeable. I feel like not that meaning that they're yes, they're similar games in a way, but I just mean like my love for them and my passion for them. It's either or. I can say Celeste is my favorite or Wandersong is my favorite.
Depending on what side of the bed you wake up on.
Exactly, that's it. Yeah, I mean I have a twin size mattress, so they have a lot of room anyway. But you know what I mean, like yeah. So for me it's interchangeable. I feel like I could see one either being 1 and 2 or 2 and 3 or 3 and 5. I don't know. I have a hard time breaking them up.
Well, decide.
The problem is I can definitely see Into the Breach or Obra Dinn being number one. You know what I mean?
But also
that's why I'm saying they are
the power
that good.
of Into the Breach was I am not a fan of those games.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of those grid based games, not at all. And I got freaking hooked just playing with you. I don't know how many hours we put into it, but I absolutely adored it.
Yeah.
And I do think Into the Breach would be top 5 and Obra Dinn, not playing much, but other than what we played together.
Right.
As far as uniqueness and novelty and just trailblazing, also right up there. I don't know. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm the only one talking right now. I love Spider-Man as well.
It's not a number one game.
Agreed.
And I love Spider-Man.
I thought it was amazing.
It's not going to be number one.
Right. I would agree with that.
But I will tell you one thing. I finished the DLC yesterday.
Yeah.
It is
You liked it?
incredible.
Good.
It's
Worth it?
really good. It's they're short, 3 little episodic things, short. They have a little cliffhanger at the end of each one. The increased difficulty is nice because it doesn't let you fly through it really quickly because it's freaking hard.
Yeah.
It gets hard. And maybe it's just because I finished the game and haven't played it for a while, not as into it, not as good as at gameplay, but it was difficult. But there's a moment in the third one where, remember in the first episode, I think I talked about you teaming up with Black Cat, having these cool things.
Yeah.
You do it with Silver Sable, and it is so freaking cool to throw a guy up in the air, and she just comes out of nowhere with this flying kick.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
That sounds
it's
really
so
cool.
much fun.
That sounds really cool.
If they do that with more enemies if they do it with more enemies, I would absolutely go back to that game only for that stuff. But
Right.
piggyback on that, I don't think it's a number one game here.
Okay.
not with its competitors.
Honestly, I feel like for me personally, the 5 we have right on top, Celeste, Sky War, Water Front, Into the Breach,
contenders?
Oberdin, could all be number 1.
Yeah.
And I didn't have that much experience with Oberdin, but also if that became number 1, I would not be upset with that.
With the short time we spent with it, the way it works,
Would not be
seems
opposed to
like
that.
something that it would be
It's
dangerous
incredible.
for me because I'd have to play it on a day where I'm doing nothing because I won't put it down.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I feel like I'd be happy with any of these being number 1, honestly.
Well, all right. Let's talk briefly about Astrobot and Minute.
Okay.
Because I think we're pretty set. Red Dead, Florence, and we're
9 to 10.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
how
then-
do? It's really tough.
So Astrobot, I mean, so what I want to say is Minute is such a unique, smart. It falls into a similar thing of like Oberdin for me, where it's like it takes. It's just a unique thing. You know what I mean?
And what I feel is which is one of the coolest things about its uniqueness, is that it takes something we're so familiar with,
Yeah, for sure.
and adds one element to it,
Yeah.
and makes it incredible.
That's it.
So like that's such a cool thing to be able to do. It's like taking an invention and tweaking it a little bit and making a lot more money.
Yeah.
But no, it was so much fun to play. I don't play a ton of games like that. And I couldn't put it down. I told it. I think I played till I put it down one time.
It's awesome.
And then picked it right back up.
It's just perfect. There's nothing about it that I would change. Everything about it is just so. Even its aesthetic, like the old Game Boy, everything about it is just so charming.
So high on replay.
So
Exactly.
Now, if you guys want to make arguments for other stuff, having said that, I still feel like I would switch that and Astrobot in our lineup.
You think Astrobot should be higher?
I just think Astrobot is a little bit above. It's just above Minute for me.
I'm not opposed to that at all.
Only because, again, new to VR, the experience I had with it was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk about Astrobot, about specific moments in Astrobot, because Dan got to play the entire first world at my house, and then me and Shelby beat
Right
the
up to the gorilla.
Yeah, I beat
the gorilla boss. Yeah. So what I want to say
Which
is
was awesome. It was like fighting King Kong.
the game the entire time. It's throwing new things at you the entire time. Up until literally the last boss is such a unique experience, where the last boss for me is what really solidified this as one of my favorite games of the year, because it basically, so it's the guy that rips apart the bot in the beginning is who you fight as the final boss,
the little slime.
that green slime guy in the thing. And so he has the VR headset, right? So he's has his headset on, and he's basically using all your abilities against you. He's throwing shurikens at you from his controller.
He pulls out a giant PS4.
Pulls out a controller.
That's awesome.
And it's red, and he's shooting.
He starts shooting the ninja stars.
That's awesome.
He shoots water by pressing down on the pad.
Yeah,
he does everything you do.
It's incredible.
And it's just so cool. And then he gets frustrated and smashes down the controller, and that's when it gets stuck, and you can hit it to hit him. And it's just
you steal the controller from him,
and
use
then
it the
you
same way
do
you
the
use
same
any of the
thing.
things,
That's cool.
And
That's
do
awesome.
it back at him. If he was shooting water, now he's got big giant fists, and you have to
shoot
spray
water,
them.
yeah.
And he'll do a right hand, and then he'll fake the right hand and go with the left hand.
That's
It's
awesome.
such a genius boss battle.
Especially like you said, with scope and just creating these environments and putting you in it.
Oh my god, yeah.
So, yeah.
Incredible.
And what I also say is that shark boss at the end.
So fun.
Awesome.
That was such
Dude.
a cool boss.
But it's in the beginning, it's a platform, you're swimming up, and then all of a sudden you see these jaws come up underneath you and chomp.
I'll tell you, that was kind of a jump scare.
Scary.
All of a sudden it's just boom.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh crap.
Was there ever any point in the game that you're kind of
Not once.
I couldn't say so
That's
because it's
awesome.
not a long game.
That's awesome.
And every time that they know that, all right, if we do a couple more levels without adding something or doing something different, then you're gonna get bored.
Yeah.
The ghost level, oh my god,
That's so
where you
cool.
have to shine a flashlight in order to see certain things, and you're doing basically Luigi Mansion style,
where it kinda
shine a
shocks
flashlight and they
you.
shock, they get
It's-
stuck. It I can't tell you how just amazing this game made you feel over and over and over again. And I'm telling you, the best thing I can say about it, and the thing I've said before, is the entire time you just have a huge smile on your face because you're
And sometimes
it's the coolest thing.
I would stop playing in the game and just sit there and turn around because I have a problem. I collect everything as I go along and don't go back and collect it.
Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah, it's bad. But that's how I am with 3D platformers. I
Yeah.
collect everything. And I would just stop and be like, do I hear any of those little guys?
Mhm.
It's like, no, not right here. And I would go like 10 more feet and then do it again. And I'm like, no, nothing here. Like it's
Sure, we're on the first level. It's been 7 hours. It's like
it's crazy. But even like I put my little brother in and told him to play it, and I'm like yelling at him from the side. I was like, "Look underneath the thing."
well, same. I was in the VR for I don't know how long. First world, but the one where you have to like throw the thing.
Throw the ball at the plane
At the
that flies
plane?
by to
Oh,
get the
yeah,
one
that's the
guy.
second.
Oh
First
man,
world.
it took me
Yeah.
forever just to get that.
But that
Oh,
one
really?
that one bot is hard because you don't know the plane flew over you.
I know. I remember I didn't get that until I played that level the second time.
Yeah.
And then I saw it go, and I was like, "Oh."
Wait, that has a symbol
I
on
was
it.
like,
yeah.
I freaking
That
missed it, and then I
yeah.
jumped off the ledge so that I could redo it.
So do we think that Astrobot could be ahead of Spider-Man, or you think Spider-Man's a solid 6?
No, personally, no.
Spider-Man's...
That's fine. Actually, one question though about Astrobot, and Shelby, you brought this up. You touched on it before. Without VR, is it still just as good?
Yeah,
as
let's talk about that.
It's a great game, not as good of a game. But again, I didn't play it without.
You
like,
couldn't.
so I don't
We
know.
couldn't know, but
Yeah.
what I will say is, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't.
either.
I think this is kind of like a middling platformer, except for that it does everything so geniusly in VR.
Yeah. And it's not just like it's beautiful in VR.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I know.
It's so much better looking than every other VR game.
It's crazy
I don't know how they do
much
it.
better looking it is. And I think it was because they weren't going for any sort of realism whatsoever. They went for the Pixar look, and it worked, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
So-
the game.
Cool.
No dialogue.
So we're good with it.
We call our bottom tier.
Yeah. Do we think that this is solid right now? Bottom 5?
I like it.
Let's
You
get
think that's
to,
good?
Let's get to the top 5. 'cause
I
that's gonna be really
personally
What would you do?
would have put Spider-Man a little bit higher, but seeing the other games and knowing how you guys feel about them,
Mhm.
and considering I haven't played 2 of them,
Well, I also want to talk about Spider-Man in general, and maybe this will bump it up as we're talking about it, or it may stay the same. But I want to talk about specific moments in Spider-Man because I think there were a lot of really, really good moments.
yes.
And I think that the one for me, story-wise, that really, really got me good was when you first discover that Doc Ock has been, not only is a bad dude, but has been like orchestrating these other guys, and you go into the lair,
And you see
and you
everything.
see
Yeah.
all their files, and you get to
Oh,
read all the
yes.
files.
That's
on each
cool
one
as
of the
just like a fan of
supervillains.
comic books. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It
And
was
that's the
so
thing, like,
so
you could,
cool.
You could skip over that and not
Yeah.
even see it. So it's like the fact that it's there, and when you, because I do the same thing. I go through all that shit. It doesn't. I don't care if I'm there an extra hour, you know. And it was one of the first comic book games where I felt like I was playing through a comic book,
Mhm.
and I found it so incredible, you know.
No, I for me that was a big moment for sure, and then I also really really liked that. So the actual mechanics of the boss fight I didn't really like so much, but the final boss fight, the way the way the camera was with Doc Ock,
Oh, when you're
when you're
going
on the
down the
side
building.
of the building,
Yeah.
it was just so cool, that whole thing. And I mean, there are a million moments in this game, but there are a couple things that really stood out to me like that. Like, I wasn't huge on the fake scarecrow thing with the scorpion poison or whatever, like, you know, whatever. It was fine, but it was like, but there are certain moments where I'm like, man, like, that was really, really cool. And then you have the little things where you're talking about his interactions with Mary Jane, where it's like, she, you know, their history together, and he needs a place to stay, and he's like, I don't know, do I text her? He's like talking to himself. Like, that shit is that's what takes us from like a fun game to a good game, like a real great game. You know what I mean?
Episode 3 of the DLC
Yeah.
is really funny.
Yeah.
Like, his interactions with Silver Sable are amazing. There's
Oh,
like
yeah.
one time they like team up and they're like doing well, and in the fight they're dialoguing with each other. Like, it's a long fight, and he's just like, where'd you learn to fight? And she's like, on the streets of Simkovia. And he's like, I just watched a couple of movies. And then he like tries to high five her at the end of that fight, and she just looks at him.
That's awesome. The guy who
It's
did the voice,
really
like his
fun.
voice too, was just
Oh,
so
he's
good.
amazing.
I thought he
Funny,
just, yeah.
The guy's name is Yuri, and then like Yuri's the cop.
Yuri's
So,
the
like,
name of the cop.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and Yuri goes through a serious change, which they didn't close on, but holy crap, she becomes like bad. It's crazy.
And, like in the DLC
In the
or something?
DLC, she becomes like, she tries to kill Hammerhead on like a vengeance run. It gets really deep in the second episode, and then the third episode's with Silver Sable. So it's like, like I said it before, if they keep adding stuff like that, it's only going to make this game better and more fun. You know, it's like adding on a couple 10-page comic book to a game that was so fun. And as far as gameplay mechanically, like flying through the air never felt so good.
Right.
No.
Yeah, no, they really
feels
mastered
great.
that too. Yeah.
The other thing I would say that I really, really liked is, like, normally the little stealth bits you had to do with Miles and Mary Jane weren't great, but the one where you were in Grand Central and you got to tell her to, like,
that was cool.
or you got to tell Spider-Man to, like, take people out and stuff.
Yeah, that
really,
was awesome.
really cool.
Well, I like the one with the rhino, but I think just because I like that they had the rhino.
I thought that was cool. Yeah, I thought that was cool too.
Stuff get around with the rhino.
What I liked about those is that it wasn't taking those one-note characters and doing something with it. It was Rhino and Scorpion at the same time.
Yeah.
Or are you talking about?
Or like your Miles, or
your
Miles.
You're
Miles. Yeah, you had to like.
When you were fighting with Spider-Man, I liked how like.
Oh, I like that too. They
you were
tag
fighting
team.
Rhino and Scorpion, and then you were fighting like Scorpion and Vulture or something like
that.
Well,
I like the Electro and Vulture. That was that was really cool.
I like those team ups a lot. At the very end, they do a memoriam for Stanley, obviously with the DLC because he passed afterwards. They do a little thing with Miles. It's a spoiler, sorry, but he puts on the Spider-Man mask and just jumps off a building. So it's like.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, they already. I mean, the post credit scene in this game,
like you already know
the main game was Miles got. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's so good.
Like Peter,
Miles is
I gotta talk to you.
The real Miles Morales,
right?
And they delve through that so much in the DLC. It's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then the only other big thing I would say that I liked, number one. So I want to talk about a couple of things I wasn't a huge fan of, but the number one other big thing was I think they handled the scene with the explosion, with Miles' dad dying and stuff. I think that was really well done, and it didn't, like, it would be very easy for a game that's very lighthearted and whatever to, like, that turn to be kind of, like, jarring.
Yeah.
For me, I think it landed really well, and then when they went to the cemetery and Peter went over to him, and Miles was like, you don't fucking know what I'm going through. Like, he just dismissed him. I was like, man, that was, like, really, really good. Like, that's why I say, like, this is a really fun game, but it has a lot of moments that elevate it, and that's why I think it belongs on this. That's why I'm saying it's more than just a fun game at that point, you know, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But the things I wasn't a huge fan of, I didn't really like Mr. Negative as a character.
Honestly,
personally,
I love Doc Ock. I think Doc Ock was super well written.
Doc Ock
I wish they just fixed
super well written.
Focus on.
Well, I like how it was kind of like you knew Doc Ock would eventually turn into Doc Ock, but you didn't know that he would do it and he would be the big head honcho of this whole thing.
I was like that. He was just like
Mr. Negative seemed like the guy,
right? And like what Dan said too, like he was just bad from like because you know he comes off kind of like but, like he was just bad from the beginning. Yeah, he was.
I just like that it was kind of obvious who Mr. Negative was in the story. You know, like you knew right away.
Super obvious.
You know,
yeah,
they couldn't have. It was so obvious.
I'm also like the thing with Doc Ock is, and remember I yelled at you spoiler in a previous podcast was because I could have seen this whole game going through, and then post-credit scene, he's becoming Doc Ock, rather than he's the big bad. Yeah. And that's why, I mean, you were like, it's fucking Doc Ock, Dan. You should know. And I'm like, yeah, but that was kind of exciting when I first found out that he was really, really bad the whole time. Yeah. I was like, wow, that's really interesting, personally.
Sort of like Norman with the end cutscene with him. And everything,
yeah, you know. And Harry in the tank. Like, let me ask you about that. Do you guys have any idea what that's about? Like, I know
it's almost like Venom.
He is Venom, right? I think he's going to be Venom.
Like. Is that what he's going to be?
Because you saw the black stuff in the tank.
It was like a symbiotic.
Yeah. But Norman didn't see it because he was like head down or something like that.
It was weird because you would have thought Green Goblin.
Yeah. Well, because you find it, you know, when you look around, when you do that stuff, you see the grenades and you see like that.
That was for Norman.
Unless that was
right. That's what I mean.
But unless it's sort of like with the movie The Amazing Spider-Man, the second one, where what's his name becomes the. It's not the Green Goblin, no. What is he? When he's gliding around, they call him something else. But he had
Hobgoblin.
Was it Hobgoblin? But he had like green stuff coming up his neck and stuff in the movie. So maybe they're going for a look like that, where it's kind of like an infection.
So Harry's gonna be the Green Goblin.
It looks like I think Harry's gonna be like Venom. I think Harry's.
It really does look like Venom. But
I'm interested to see. Well, anyway,
yeah,
that's pretty much all I have to say about Spider-Man. Do you guys have
honestly,
anything?
I see. Last time we talked about Spider-Man, which is when it came out. I love Spider-Man. It's just games I love more, and that's kind of why like I feel like it not that it falls by the wayside. It's still top. You know, we got number 6. Mm-hmm. I just like these games up here, at least these 4 up here. Mm-hmm. I'm just head over heels about, and for many reasons, I think I love more than Spider-Man.
Okay. Are we good with our bottom 5?
I think
we like the order of them. Right now we have Spider-Man 6, Astrobot 7, Minute 8, Florence 9, Red Dead Redemption 2, 10.
I hope we get some comments about that.
I hope so too.
Wait, about what?
Red
About
Dead
Red
10.
Dead Redemption being number 10.
But lucky it made it. It wasn't even going to make it.
I know, right? It was
Oh,
on the cutting
man.
board.
All right, so our top 5 here. This is going to be extra tough because, like I said before, and I mean this genuinely, I could see any one of these 5 being number 1, like actually number 1.
And any of these ones could be number 1. I'd be okay with it.
So this is going to be hard to talk about because, like I said, I feel that any one of these could be number 1. The problem that we run into is I'm the only one that's played Oberdin. Mm-hmm. Shelby hasn't played Wander Song, and not Into the Breach really. So this is where it's like, how do we really go about this?
Let's circle back.
Because
Well, the thing is, it's gonna. No, we're not gonna come to a solid conclusion that all of us are gonna be happy with.
of course, yeah.
that's
But
just
I'm
how it's
saying,
gonna
like,
go.
I don't even know how to start this conversation because
Yeah.
I certainly can't lead it because I don't know what.
Well, how about this?
If we were to take now, if each of us go in order right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and see if any fall into the same spot,
What's everybody's number 1 game? What's everybody's number? What's
it's
everybody's?
all going to be different.
I'll put it. My number 1 game is Celeste.
I saw that coming.
You said like you knew it.
Mine's God of War,
Okay.
but again, I've only really played 2 of these games.
Mine's between Into the Breach and Oberdin. So I'm torn.
It
So
doesn't
you
work.
said that before, though.
It doesn't
like
work.
I see that. I absolutely see that coming. Now, again, haven't played. I've seen Into the Breach plenty of times. Oberdin, I've briefly, and Wander Song haven't touched. Loved God of War. Loved Celeste. I would put God of War 1, Celeste 2.
God of War is
personally.
number 1 game of the year.
That's what
For
I
sure.
would put as number 1 personally. Only because that one, like I still almost remember every aspect of the game.
But see, I'm with you, and that's
Yeah.
why out of the games, the big, AAA games, God of War, just from start to finish, I devoured
And
that.
the
Just
fact that
everything
it was
about
a one-shot thing, it was,
That was cool.
such a marvel to play.
Mhm.
But does that make it a great game? Personally, I love that. But it doesn't, like, I could play chess and love chess because it's a game. It doesn't
Right.
make it, like a certain experience,
What I love most about God of War is I hate God of War. I can't stand the franchise.
Yeah.
I do not like God of War at all. My feelings
Previous
about
ones,
my
yeah.
feelings about God of War are very, very apparent. I just do not like them a bit. I love this game.
Mm-hmm. It's a great
It
game.
took something that I hated
Yeah.
and it made me love it.
Yeah.
God of War,
And that's what reboots are supposed to do.
exactly.
And it's
Well, that's what they hope to do.
yeah.
God of War could be number 1. It could be number 2. I would say God of War's got to be top 3. That's my opinion.
Okay.
God of War's got to stay in the top 3 for sure.
Okay. So
Now
from the discussions, and I know this isn't how you feel directly, and I love
was
Wander
just
Song
about to
too,
say, yeah.
but I think Wander Song has to be 5 based on what we're
because
talking
all of
I
us said
understand.
the other 4 games.
Yes,
You know?
I'm fine with that. Wander Song, also I'd feel personally top 3,
Yeah.
but I'm actually okay with that. I'm just happy Wander Song
All right,
at
I'm
number 5.
happy that's landing there because it's the only one I haven't played, so I
Yeah.
I just want to say the Wander Song.
I'd still put.
I love
Spider-Man
this
above
game.
it.
It's an amazing game.
I am.
Do you
so
want to
happy
talk
that's
about
top 5.
some specific points that really hit you in that game? Because we never got to really spoil it or talk about it.
Okay, yeah.
If you want to.
I mean,
I'm
there's a
not
bunch
saying.
that I could. My favorite part about the game was, and I don't want to just keep beating a dead horse because I'm sure I've explained what it is every time. Where you go to, there's these overseers that are dying, and you gotta go and try to calm them down, but yet there's a hero,
You got to convince them to tell them they're part of the song.
right? So you can save
So
the world.
you can save the world. Because if you sing this
Now-
song,
Wasn't there a part of this where you said lulled a little bit for you before you finished it?
What I did say was a lot of the levels kind of were
Elongated.
too.
it was a
drawn out.
little too drawn out.
Each
Okay,
each like level, you go to a new world, and that world has an overseer at the top. Kind of whatever. You go through the world, you meet all these characters, and you eventually get to like the palace of the overseer. And getting to from that point, once you visit the towns, to when you get to the palace, to when you actually meet the overseer, that whole gap it can be very long and very, very tedious. I wish you just get to the palace and talk to the overseer because the game's not about gameplay anyway.
It has a little too much gameplay.
The game's about...
It has a little bit too much.
It's about the dialogue and it's about the writing. So when... Yes, there's too much of an emphasis on gameplay, but my favorite moments are, at the same time, there's this girl named the Hero. And, you know, she comes in, she's, you know, this knight, and she just comes in, she just kills overseers. That's what she does. And every time you get close to an overseer...
Don't you think that's interesting that we're talking about Game of the Year and it's the gameplay that kind of rolls on you there?
No, you'll never beat us with that.
But I love
that line does not matter to us.
I love it the same way that I love Night in the Woods, and that's why there is no...
What I want to clarify with the hero and the overseers and stuff is, so you meet somebody in the beginning that says the world's ending, and you say, how do we stop it? And they say, well, you can sing the song or whatever. So that same person told the hero that if you kill all the overseers, then the world will end just as it's supposed to. Because whoever, I forget who they call, the god or whatever, wants the world to end. Mm-hmm. This world, its time is up.
It's a cycle.
So the hero is coming around and killing all the overseers so that the song can't be sung to save the world. Because God doesn't want the world to be saved.
The hero meaning your character or
no.
Another character?
The rival, the enemy.
Okay, all right.
And so you are trying to go to the overseers and learn the songs to save the world.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
My favorite part in the entire game. Because what's so great about it is it starts off and it's kind of like happy and you play this bard and he's just super optimistic, happy-go-lucky, like, I'm here to save the world, this great, you know, woo-hoo. He sings.
And everyone kind of laughs at him because all he does is sing. They're like, you're not saving anything.
But, like, as it goes on, he starts to, you know, at first, you know, it's kind of like, haters going to hate whatever, I'm just going to sing. But as it goes along, that starts to actually affect him, that people don't believe that he's
all
worth
the doubt
anything.
Is actually
and he's starting to be like, wow, like, I don't know if I can.
It culminates in that when you get to that location, your old town.
You go back to your show.
You go back to your hometown, and it's dark. And this whole game is bright and colorful, and it's dark. You can't sing. You, like, spin the wheel, and you just, like, won't sing. And then you're, like, talking to the people in the town. Everyone's depressed. Like, you don't know what to do. You don't know how to get out of this funk. And then, you know, eventually you do. But it was just such a cool moment where you're like, wow. Like, all this shit, the fact that his quest is not going well, it's really weighing on him. And it's really like...
But the writing around that, too. It's not just like, oh, I'm, you know, nobody believes in me. It's like real stuff that, like, he's just like, well, what if I don't, you know, amount to anything? Yeah. What if, you know, this is all... The world's going to end anyway, so I might as well give up. And it's just this... Yeah. Favorite part, though, is you get a little bit farther, you get past that, and you keep meeting up with the hero. And eventually, at the end, you're at one of the last overseers, maybe the last overseer, I'm not sure, and, you know, cave collapses, and it's just you and the hero's, who, you know, this big, strong knight is talking about how she's, like, super insecure, and that, you know, the bard, you can name him, he goes, you know, well, you know, there's another way, you know, you've never tried, like, kindness, you've never tried talking to these overseers. And the hero's like, well, you know, I've never been good at anything, but I'm actually really good at this, so, like, I really just want to continue doing this because it's the only thing I'm good at. I'm scared to not be the hero. They had this beautiful, you know, conversation. Hero finally, you know, says, okay, like, all right, I'll do what you say, I'll be good. You get to the final boss, and the bard's just like, okay, follow my lead. I'm going to make everything, like, we're going to try talking to the overseer, make it work. Yeah. All right, so it goes on for, you know, a good, you know, 10 minutes. You know, you're fighting this boss, and you're trying to talk to him. The hero's like working with you, and out of nowhere, the hero just kills him.
Kills the overseer,
it's over. Yeah. And just that, like, this buildup of just, oh, man, you're working together, and bam, like...
And she's like, oh, I was just using you. I just wanted to...
Exactly. And it's just over, and he's crushed, and the world ends. Yeah. And the world ends. And it's just this moment of just complete betrayal. And in a game that is just this cartoon, construction paper, Blue's Clues looking thing, where you're just as shocked, and you're just like, jerk. Oh no! Yeah. I'm telling you, that whole moment, and everything after that, where the world actually does that, my other favorite moment. The world, I'm just spoiling the whole game, actually.
Well, yeah, you should.
Well, you just said the ending, so...
The game ends, the world ends.
Now.
the world ends, and it's just you. And you just kind of like Earthbound, at the end of Earthbound, you just see all the people that you've met, and everything just like ending. And it's like the saddest like freaking thing. All the weird things that you've seen, it's ending. So you just start singing. You just start singing. And that's what you do. You just go to all these different places and you just start singing again.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else at all the places that you've
Start
met
singing with you.
singing the song,
Mm-hmm.
the songs that you've sung with them, very much like Earthbound. And the world's saved. And then you meet up with the P's from Ni no Kuni. Who's the god girl, the shiny girl?
Oh, I forget her name.
Anyway, she's the one that told him, find the Overseer song. She's also the same one that told the hero about...
if you kill them, yeah.
You find out that she told the hero, actually, you don't have to kill them. This bard might be onto something.
Yeah.
The hero wouldn't take it and just broke off with her.
Because she's not good at being kind, she just kills people.
But the coolest part was, and the way that it ended was so perfect. It's just you and this, this god-like creature who started the whole thing just said like, wow, you never gave up. Like, that's really cool. Like, that's special. And that's like how it ends. And it's just like the coolest, like...
No, it's awesome. It is such a fantastic, fantastic game. And I feel over and over, I feel that this game got completely overlooked, and I'm really glad that we were able to put it on our list.
That was my long-winded love letter to Wander Song, but it was just perfect. I loved everything about it. Anyway, on to the
Now, so Wander Song's number 5. We got 4 here. Obviously, I know I'm the only one that played Oberdin. But it is such a good game, though. It is so unique and genius. Like,
Picture why it should be above the other 3.
I just think that it...
I mean, with our short time with it, I could see where he's coming from.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It is so good. It is so well written, and it's so impeccably designed as to where you find all these little clues and you start putting them together and you're like, oh, I remember this from the other person's memory. Mm-hmm. Let me go back to them and see it. And, oh, yeah, they said that this person is from this, works here. And then you look at your little chart. The game is just incredible. And I think the one part where it actually does fall a little flat is that the overarching narrative is good, but not too special. It's more about the process of figuring it out than it is the actual story you're piecing together. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the story that you're piecing together is actually good. And at the end, if you get all of them right, everything, a certain ending happens where one of the people that escaped the boat writes you and says like, I can't finish this. You'll have to finish it. Go here. Or they send you this monkey's paw, and you use your stopwatch. Now you're not on the ship anymore. This is like a year after, and you get a package in the mail that says like, I'm on my deathbed, whatever. I need you to finish this. And there's like a monkey's paw, and you hit it, and the guy chopped off his monkey's paw on purpose, foreseeing this, so that we can see the rest of what happened, because there was no dead bodies from this chapter on the boat.
Oh.
So you couldn't. So instead, what you saw was you went back, and then you were able to piece together the final chapters of what happened based on going through the monkey first and then seeing everything else. It was so cool.
That is cool.
It's just, for me, it's the music in this game, the art style, like. It is just such a unique, brilliant experience that I could see this being anywhere in this top 4, but it's definitely one of my favorite games of the year for sure.
Personally, better than Into the Breach, God of War, and Celeste?
I would say...
How would you put it if you could put it anywhere?
Oh, God, put the pressure on me, huh?
Well, yeah, you're the only one that fully played it the way that...
If you do it out real quick, between Oberdin and Into the Breach, I know you said they're kind of interchangeable, but if you had to choose on a dime, what would you choose between the two of them? Now, I know how many hours you've dumped into the Breach, so it's like...
They're so different.
And I personally love Into the Breach for so many of the same reasons that I loved God of War. Into the Breach, I'm not a fan of those grid sort of games, and
I could see Oberdin staying at 4 and these being our top 3.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We'll figure out those, but let's leave Oberdin at 4. I think it'll end up being higher on mine. It might be number 1. I don't know, but
okay. I'm okay with that. Again, Into the Breach and Oberdin are the two that I haven't really put time into. I put about the same amount of time into both of them.
Right.
Personally, I think I liked Oberdin a little bit more when we were playing it.
Yeah.
But if that's how you feel, considering you've put the most time into both of them,
I think for our list, I think Into the Breach, Celeste, and God of War are a good top 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love Into the Breach.
Yeah, me too.
I'm fine with the way that the list is now. I'm even fine.
I would personally just switch Celeste and God of War.
And honestly, I'm fine with that as well, too. I think...
So you guys are not interested in Into the Breach moving up at all?
I personally, I don't see it in my own top 10.
I agree with Shelby on that one.
But that doesn't. If you want to make the argument for why you think it's better than either of the 2 other games, I'm here to hear it.
Yeah.
Celeste was my personal favorite game of the year. And God of War just...
But he already said God of War can go first. He said it.
God of War,
take-backs.
God of War was such a super impactful to me, just because for every reason that you stated, Shelby, about it, just the presentation, the gameplay, the story, everything about that. But it was just it was such a refreshing thing to me because I hate God of War, and it was just this.
On top of the one-shot stuff, the story is great. You know, like the dynamics between his son and himself.
Yeah,
I mean, we all know the story. Everybody who's listening to this has probably played this game. You know, there's nothing we can really spoil about it. I don't think. And I also think it was rewarding in a sense of when I first started playing it, I sucked at throwing the axe. Mm-hmm. You know, and then I got better at it, and then you can kind of go through the game and walk into an area and. Even if you're fully leveled up, if you're not good at playing the game, you're going to get your ass kicked in there. And you can turn around. And the game's kind of as hard as you want to make it in that sort of sense that they give you this extra stuff that you can just access, but you might not be good enough to do it. Those freaking Valkyries are tough as shit. You know? They're very difficult. Yeah. And even the 2 extra realms that you can go to, you know? It's part of the main game, but you do it afterwards and everything. And it's if you are good at the game, go ahead. Attack it. If not, you still get this enthralling story.
Yeah. I think God of War is extremely fun to play, and I think God of War did such a great job at designing its small open world. It really felt like an Ocarina of Time style game where it was everything. You had your center area, and then when you would explore. You'd be going into these different places. You're like, wow, I didn't know I could even get up here. You're like, it's really, really impeccably designed, this game. I think this game's design is top notch. I think it's beautiful.
You have the world snake or world serpent and everything.
So many good one where with the giant's dead and it becomes part of the landscape.
Yeah,
walking.
On the map it becomes part of the
landscape. And the whole time you're walking, it's just a nose, and then you just go.
I mean, they took this game, then they thought it through, and everything that could have made it a little bit better, and they were like, they nailed it.
They made Kratos relatable. You know what I mean?
Like Kratos an actual character,
which is
all they had to do was give him a beard. But again, exactly what Dan said. You're not walking into beds and banging weird ladies in red. You know, you're having.
That's right. That was like Dr. Seuss. Walking into beds, banging ladies in red.
But yeah, I think again, personally, I think they nailed every note here.
The thing that I will say, and I harped on it during our spoiler cast, I fucking hate the end of this game and the interaction with Freya.
Yes, no, that's crap. That's definitely crap.
A terrible turn for the only fucking female in this game to take. And
agreed.
You take her agency away from her.
Agreed.
I know what's right. I'm not going to let you die. You're just a crazy woman. I'm going to kill your son instead. It's fucked up.
Agreed. Dan, I'm totally with you on that. 100%.
That really bugs me. And it's so funny because this game, I love this game. There's so many, there are so few things that I could dislike about this game because I love this game. And the few, that is number one, and it's a huge fucking number one detractor. Huge.
I'm with you on that, for sure. And the same way you're talking about Banner Saga, too. You know, that same sort of, Banner Saga, it just didn't go with the character of Freya at all. It was complete.
But if it was my choice, I would have let Freya die.
Right, no, exactly. That's what...
And then if I wanted to kill her son, I would have killed her son. But I think once she died, he would be happier because that's what was holding him back from feeling and anything else, right? So she was ready to sacrifice herself for her son, which, whether or not you agree with her choice, it's her choice.
Exactly. I'm with you on
And
that,
guess
100%.
what? As a character up until that point, none of that should have happened because she was not that character. She was not the, please stop, don't hurt my son.
Well,
Like,
we
she
talked
was
about this a
not
long
that
time ago.
character.
The person that we saw there wasn't the 30 hours of gameplay that we saw. That
Nope.
wasn't her character at all.
Not her character. But then if you're going to say that's her character, then let her end it the way she wants to end it.
Total misuse of her character. Agreed.
Terrible.
Agreed.
Now, do you think maybe there was something that they had in mind for further games where they were like,
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
do we want to keep Freya? And they just tried to figure out a way to keep her alive.
I'm sure that
like-
this factors into later games,
Yeah.
but
But still, I agree. I feel
wonder
like-
if that had anything to do with it, and if
but then don't have any of that. Don't
That's
even
what I
have
mean.
her
Did
there.
they-
Just
did they
have
just-
the fight with Balder,
yeah.
kill him.
Did they just mishandle
And that's
it that
it.
way,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, it was
Definitely
terrible.
mishandled. Disrespect
Mishandled.
to her
Big time.
character for sure.
Big time.
I agree.
And that's why I'm saying, like, this would be my number one game flat. No argument. If it wasn't for that. Because that really gets me.
I'm with you.
And then Celeste. We know Shelby likes Celeste.
I like
but
Celeste.
He doesn't love Celeste in the same way
I'm not an
that we do.
empathetic person, and I find it. I'm just not. I'm not at heart. I'm not an empathetic person, and I find it hard to be empathetic about an 8-bit character with no face. You know, like, and I love her story. The gameplay is why I think it absolutely belongs in the top 3 alone. Like, even if nobody spoke throughout the whole game, I would put it in the top 3. Like, I enjoyed playing it that much.
Yeah.
But you got the gameplay and the story. It's like a
agree with you. Again,
sandwich.
It's
It's like PB&J.
I don't
It's
have
perfect.
those feelings, you know, where I'm just like,
Oh, we'll get you some feelings. Don't
you
worry.
know, like I just,
We'll get you some
I don't know
feelings.
what it is. This character that I'm not attached to. I didn't get as attached to it as you guys did. That's my
But just think about, here's what I want you to think about. That moment where, so we're going to go through some moments and we're going to talk about some story beats, but the moment for me when you see the dark version of Madeline literally come out of her portrait in the top right, like come out of the portrait and like lean over and look at you and be like, you're going down, and you go down to the fucking bottom of the mountain. Like, that was just such an amazing moment where it was like, Jesus, like, how did she come back from this? And then...
But she fell down into some mystical fairyland. It wasn't even like it was dark. It was the brightest part of the game.
But it's the base of the mountain. It's
But
the
it's
bottom.
so nice down there. It's probably warmer.
Yeah.
It's,
But she wanted to climb the mountain.
But the mountain is a metaphor for her mental illness and trying to overcome her obstacles. That's like the perfect
it was a
perfect metaphor
that's a
for like.
fantastic moment in gaming. I think when Baldur first shows up at your house in God of War,
Yes.
it's a better
But I agree with.
moment in
But see,
gaming,
I
you know,
see.
like,
But that's a great moment as well, but...
I agree. The feelings I had when Boulder showed up and he calls out your son.
and whoops your ass.
But like when he calls out your son, I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, that hit some sort of nerve with me where I was just like, whoa. I had that same thing that Dan was talking about though, where if anybody's been through a relapse or anything like that, where you're doing so good, you get up there and then you just completely thrown back down. Okay, from the beginning. That feeling too, that also hit the same sort of nerve, that visceral.
I don't have that nerve.
Is
If you've ever watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I am Dennis. I have no feelings.
that the Dan DeVito character? Is that
No, it's the Glenn Howerton character. I have no feelings.
Both of those moments hit the nerve, and for me, Celeste hit a bigger nerve. Maybe because I don't have a son. I don't know, but I think there was more of those moments where she's overcoming obstacles. Even when she meets that guy, I forget his name, in
Oshiro?
the hotel,
So,
like that too. Just that
Mr. Oshiro?
that
he
feeling,
was one of my favorite characters.
that,
He
but
was
that feeling
amazing.
of like
He was
loneliness
absolutely
and
one of my
just
favorites.
wanting to belong. And there she is being a complete ass to him,
Yeah.
and then she regrets it. Like this, there's just so many of those moments that, like you said, from an 8-bit thing that was able to convey these sort of feelings that we've all,
No
or
face.
at least I've gone through on a multiple time basis where I'm just like, you know what, I can relate to that. That's real, and that's why I think it was just such a beautiful. In the same way that I was surprised with God of War, I was surprised with Celeste because you look at it and you wouldn't think much, but man, were there those moments that just pack a punch.
Yeah, and I'd also say, shouting out specific moments, I would say obviously the first time when you realize that, dark version of her, like, comes out of the mirror and is chasing you around and stuff, and then she goes through the cycle of like, you're not me. Like at first she's like, whatever, and then she decides, you know what, I don't need you anymore. I'm just gonna fight you, and then you chase after her. Like that stuff hits really, really well. And then when she finally accepts, she's like, you're a part of me, and I need to take care of you, and like whatever. And then you shoot up, and you go through everything.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like such a great moment.
It's got everything I could ever want in anything.
Yeah.
Shelby, I love that. Shelby, I love the touchy-feely stuff. Give it to me. Bring it. Wait, that's really weird when you put it that way.
I think it's clear that we're going to put God of War above Into the Breach, so we're going to do Into the Breach at 3.
Okay.
And then I think we're making a compelling case for Celeste number 1.
I don't see it.
All right, Celeste is my personal number 1, so you boys fight.
You already said we could switch.
Actually, that's true. I did say that.
I guess in the sense that you were just like, maybe I don't have a son, I don't feel the same way. As somebody who coaches 80 freaking kids around that Atreus age every single day, maybe I do feel more like him because they don't fucking listen.
I don't think that was a takeaway from the game.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. But
I have people I care about,
I love cinema so much, and I have such a passion for motion capture that when I see these characters actually acting it out and I can see the emotion in their faces, then I become more attached to them. You know, when I can literally see his brow move or his something like that. Like, obviously the story has to be good.
You read a book?
No, I know the same thing. It's like dialogue. That's the same thing with something like that where characters don't speak. Books give you the same emotions.
Yeah.
That's why Celeste is crazy that they don't have any of that. And it's still there's still this sort of. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy that, but I don't know.
That's just my personal.
My vote's for Celeste over God of War.
If both of you guys are going there, then I'll allow it. But personally, I have been fighting. What are you talking
Keep fighting. Don't give up. You gotta do Wander Song. You just gotta start singing. Start singing. You gotta start singing.
I already let friggin' Wander Song in the top 5.
Yeah, I just think, like I said, when my personal top 10 comes out, I think my number 1 could be Oberdin, Into the Breach, or Celeste. But I think God of War is in that mix, but it's not a contender for my number 1 personally. But like I said, it is up there with them. So like I could see it being number 2 on my list, even though any of those 3 could be number 1. You know what I'm saying? Like I personally have too much disdain for that stupid ass turn, and it really does put a sour note, in my opinion. I think the game is great overall. It is one of my most enjoyable experiences. I love that the open world isn't so huge and sprawling. That's one of the reasons I am not, that's why Red Dead 2 for me is behind all these, is because God of War does its scope in a similar way to Spider-Man, where it's like, it's not so huge.
Yeah, where it's you can explore the whole city in Spider-Man, but it's not.
And God of War, it's like, you can go through these like labyrinthine passages and see all these little secrets and stuff, but it's not overwhelming you. It's like attainable to do everything, and it's really enjoyable, and I love God of War, but yeah, I don't see it being number 1 for us.
Well, if that's how you guys feel, I'll let it go. I'll let you know right now that I would have switched them.
All right.
And that's not. Don't get me wrong. I'm making the argument for God of War over Celeste. Still saying Celeste would be my number 2.
Right,
I'm not.
Well, that's what this is always.
Exactly.
So Shelby, what you're saying is that Celeste did make you feel things.
Put this game down. No, I said it before that the gameplay alone, without anything, would still allow it to be in my top 30.
Shelby.
I still like playing that. Makes me want to go and play Super Meat Boy because I never did play it. And the way
that's the thing. I love Super Meat Boy. Yeah. Gameplay is amazing, but Celeste just adds this element
I'm just saying
on top of it.
The lack of empathy in my soul.
So we're gonna get you
to let it go above God of War.
We're gonna get you some empathy.
Well, I think we have our list, boys.
Circle back.
I'm going to read it off. 1 to 10. Actually, 10 to 1.
Do it.
Number 10, Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 9, Florence. Number 8, Minute. Number 7, Astrobot Rescue Mission. Number 6, Marvel Spider-Man. Number 5, Wander Song. Number 4, Return of the Obra Dinn. Number 3, Into the Breach. Number 2, God of War. And Circle Back Gaming Game of the Year, number 1, Celeste.
Yay!
Thank you to Matt Thorson and his beautiful team for making Celeste. And that's it, guys. That was our Circle Back Gaming 2018 Game of the Year extravaganza. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you guys.
It was a long one. It was a good one. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching.
Happy 2018 to everybody.
Got a bunch of index cards to pick up now.
Yep. We are going to do, in the next episode, we're probably going to go through some, we have some other categories in mind. We're just going to do, like, best music, we're going to do, like, best looking or best art style or whatever.
Best looking.
Now, if an 8-bit character wins that.
Couple things like that. So we'll see for the next episode, but look for that. And thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you so much. Happy 2018 to everybody.
Yeah.
Shelby, Dan, thank you guys for allowing me to be part of your lives.
Thank you.
And the podcast.
Great.
Here's to 2019.
Yes.
2019. See you next time. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching and or listening. Just here to remind you that you can find us by searching for Circle Back Podcast or Circle Back Gaming on any of these podcast services: Anchor, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, or Stitcher. By God, I'm out of breath because of all these podcast services, but you can find us anywhere there. Also, you can find our video version on YouTube by searching Circle Back Podcast or Circle Back Gaming, and the rest of the videos we do. Thanks, guys.